program is available now on your smart device. Find one of the posted QR code signs, scan it with your smartphone, and access rosters, game notes, and everything you need to know about Union football.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome inside Frank Bailey Field for today's Liberty League matchup between the Union College Dutchmen and the visitors from Hobart College. A huge Liberty League matchup between these two teams. The Dutchmen are 7-0 and ranked 12th in one national poll, 11th in the other poll, 12th in the D3Football.com poll, 11th in the coaches poll. Union riding a 20-game regular season winning streak, which is a school record and actually broke the record set back in 1992. The team winning those 19 games between 1990 and 1992. Union has won 20 straight regular season games coming into this afternoon's game against Hobart. And this, again, is a huge game. Hobart is 6-1, 2-1 in the Liberty League and receiving votes in the national polls. Their only loss this season came at Ithaca, a one-touchdown defeat against the Bombers. And this is a big, big weekend in the Liberty League as you've got this game, Union hosting Hobart, which is always a big matchup, even if the records were not as significant as they are as these two schools meet for the 104th all-time meeting, a rivalry that dates back to 1896. Union won the most previous meeting back in 2019 right here at Frank Bailey Field, 23-7. Hobart was ranked 21st at that time. So you've got this matchup here in Schenectady. Then down the street, down Route 7, you've got RPI hosting Ithaca, and Ithaca is 7-0. RPI is 6-1. Their only loss of the season, the Engineers, was a 10-9 loss out in Geneva at Boswell Field against Hobart. So you've got two 7-0 teams putting their undefeated records on the line here this afternoon. We'll hear from Union head coach Jeff Behrman in just a minute. His thoughts to this all-important game. Again, Union 7-0 against Hobart 6-1. So obviously this is a big game. Union had a significant event happen earlier this week. On Monday, the football team announced an addition to its roster in 13-year-old Kevin Williams. And that date was significant on Monday, which was October 25th, World Spina Bifida Awareness Day. And the team welcoming Kevin Williams, and through the nonprofit organization Williams, a 13-year-old, and it was Union head coach Jeff Behrman saying that Kevin embodies our team culture and someone who attacks every single day with his courage, his positive attitude, his resiliency, and his discipline, and he does that with an infectious smile. So that was a significant event taking place for the team earlier this week on Monday. Union coming off of last weekend's victory on the road at Rochester. We haven't even really mentioned the weather yet. It was supposed to be, there was in the forecast called for potential rain showers. It seems like the rain will come later this afternoon, so it is a cloudy day. It rained overnight, and so we've got cloudy conditions, and it's very humid, about 50 degrees at kickoff. And it feels more like it's in the 40s. So this is football weather here as we play in the last weekend of October. Union and Hobart. Again, these two teams, whenever they get together, you know it's going to be a good game. Two of the last three matchups have come right down to the gun and been decided by 5 points or less, not including the most recent game that Union won here 23-7 2 years ago when they beat Hobart, which was ranked number 21 in the country. As we said, we'll hear from Union head coach Jeff Behrman coming up in just a minute. Union and Hobart. And again, this will be an interesting matchup in a few different areas. This is a Hobart team that averages 233 yards rushing per game. They've got 1,634 rushing yards on the season and 23 rushing touchdowns. They've got a couple of players in Rayshawn Boswell and Tim Denham Jr., who both average north of 90 yards per game individually. And it's going to be going up against a Union College defense that allows just 88 yards a game on the ground. And even that number's a bit inflated because they played Springfield earlier this year, and Springfield is primarily a run-based offense. So Union really only allows about 80 yards a game rushing the football, even less than that if you take that Springfield game out. And Hobart will be looking to run the football with Boswell and Tim Denham Jr. On the other side, you've got Union's offense, which is averaging 39 points a game against a stout Hobart defensive unit. 12.5 points a game allowed for the Statesmen. They have 13 turnovers through their first 7 games, 11 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries. Again, these are two programs that know each other well. Hobart head coach Kevin DeWall, who played at Hobart, graduated in 2000, had some high praise for Union when I caught up with him earlier this week. He said, Union head coach Jeff Behrman and his staff have done a very good job, and Union will provide a big test, but he is, quote, excited to see our guys compete. Hobart coming off of a 17-13 victory at home against St. Lawrence, which was a little bit closer than maybe some people thought, especially playing at home. We'll already give you an out-of-town score here because it has significance to this game and to the Liberty League as a whole, as RPI and Ithaca, they kicked off at noon. It's late in the first half in Troy. RPI leads Ithaca 7-0. So that is a score to keep your eye on. Because if you're Union, yes, you're 7-0, you're ranked in the top 15, but this is the gauntlet here over the last 3 weeks that will ultimately determine how the season finishes. Again, Union has won 20 straight regular season games, 13 straight at home, and they've won 12 straight Liberty League contests. All of those records, in fact, date back to their last loss, which was here at Frank Bailey Field. It was a Liberty League game against Ithaca in October of 2018, the last time Union suffered a regular season league and home loss. But then, as we said, the next 3 weeks, you've got Hobart here this afternoon. Then you travel to Ithaca next weekend out at Butterfield Stadium. And then you host RPI, and it doesn't matter what the records are. When Union and RPI get together, the Dutchman shoes are up for grabs. And Union's hoping for more than that. RPI's hoping for more than that. They are 6-1 itself. The Engineers are themselves. And leading 7-0 Ithaca right now, as we said, towards the end of the first half down the road in Troy. Union making its way out onto the captains, making their way out onto the field. Union wearing garnet shirts with white numerals and gray pants. I don't think I've ever seen this combination of jerseys or jersey pants shirt combo for Union. This is homecoming weekend. Huge crowd expected here at Frank Bailey Field as the bleachers are expected to be completely sold out this afternoon. Across the sidelines are the Hobart Statesmen. They wear their road white jerseys with orange pants, orange numerals, orange helmets. Festive as they come in here on Halloween weekend. The Statesmen are coached by Kevin DeWall, who's had a good level of success at Hobart. First, he was an assistant coach there. Way back, he played, graduated in the year 2000, then was an assistant coach under longtime head coach Mike Cragg. Actually, Coach DeWall played on the football team and also played on Hobart's Division I lacrosse team. Came back after 3 years at Endicott College as the head coach, and now is, ever since the 2018 season, he's been the head coach at Hobart, his alma mater. Union coached by Jeff Behrman, 35-14 all-time record. He was named head coach back in January of 2016, 1995 graduate of John Carroll University. Assistant coaches for Union are Rick Flanders, Travis James, Pete Brown, Kevin Billington, and Devin Puck. And the crowd starts to get loud here at Frank Bailey Field as the Dutchmen come out onto the field for this all-important Liberty League matchup between Union and Hobart. So as we get ready to hear the national anthem here, you will hear from Union head coach Jeff Behrman his thoughts on this game, this important matchup between Hobart and Union.
At this time, to honor America, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem being performed today by Union's all-women a cappella group, the Garnets.
We are joined here in the pregame by Union head coach Jeff Behrman. And Coach, I know you're a one practice at a time, one game at a time, but once the schedules come out, the fan bases from these two schools, Hobart and Union, really circle this game every year. In your experience, why is this game special and why is it important?
Yeah, I think it's just, to me, it's two really good football programs that have good players. And know who they are and do what they do. It's going to be a great game today, and that's, in my time here, the Hobart Union game has been a very competitive game, right down to the end every single year.
Hobart's offense averages over 200 yards rushing a game. They've got two running backs in Rayshawn Boswell and Tim Denham Jr. who average about 90-plus yards a game each. What challenges does that present to your defense?
I mean, certainly they're a big physical team. They want to run the football. They work at it. They're very good at it. That is their identity. So, certainly we have to do a great job with our eyes from the defensive side and match their physicality and be able to fit the run and tackle. It's going to come down to tackling.
How about on the offensive side of the football? You guys continue to put up, you're routinely in the 30s, averaging, close to 40 points per game. What do you need to do offensively this afternoon to be effective against their defense, which only allows about 12.5 points a game?
Yeah, they're really strong and really effective defensively as well. I mean, it comes down to execution. That's the bottom line. I mean, our guys have had a great week of preparation. They're ready to go for this challenge, and it just comes down to, one play at a time and executing your job on that one play.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time as always. It's Union and Hobart kicking off, coming up next. We are joined here in the pregame. Thanks, as always, to Union head coach Jeff Behrman for joining us in the pregame. As we get ready to go here, it will be Hobart to receive the opening kickoff. The fans are filing in here again. It's homecoming weekend. The bleachers are nearly entirely full as fans still continue to trickle in, and great crowd across the way on the hill. Kickoff from Andrew Lau is caught by Rayshawn Boswell, and Boswell bounces it outside. He's still on his feet. 30, 35, 40, 50, midfield 40. A big play from Boswell as he takes the opening kickoff all the way down to the close to the Union 15-yard line. So not the way Union wanted to start, as its defense will be backed up. Hobart gets a gigantic return from Rayshawn Boswell, the junior from Rochester, New York. Brings it all the way down to the Union 15, and 15 seconds into this game, Hobart is set up in the red zone.
Yard line, 1st and 10 for the Statesmen.
So 1st down and 10 for Hobart College, and they'll start at the Union 15 with senior quarterback David Cruson under center for the Statesmen. He is going to hand off on 1st down, and it will be Tin Denham Jr. running
play.
right. Picked up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and long for the Statesmen. Hobart averages 233 yards a game rushing behind an offensive line. We'll give you the starters up front here. Ben Frank, Devin Adamo, Lunder Mercy, Cade Frucci, and Kieran Paskowitz are the offensive linemen up front for the Statesmen. David Cruson at quarterback. We've already mentioned Boswell and Denham Jr. Their top receiver is number 84, Alex Labella, who's set up on the far side with 3-receiver look. They're running up the middle again with Denham Jr. Boswell had to come off the field probably after that long return. So it's been Denham Jr., the junior from Syracuse, on the first 2 carries.
The 7-yard line, 3rd down.
Ball is at the 9-yard line. It is 3rd down and 4. Actually, it looks like I guess it's about at the 7.
Made by number 53, Thomas Cavallo.
Thomas Cavallo, the junior from Hopewell Junction, made the tackle for the Dutchman. And Hobart has a false start, it looks like, on this all-important 3rd down. It looks like the Statesmen are going to be backed up. I think they were trying to draw Union offsides and pick up the 1st down, but instead it was the offensive line, which head coach Kevin DeWall said they've rotated about 6 to 8 guys up on that offensive line, but going up against this very difficult Union defensive line, it'll be a good test this afternoon for Hobart's offensive line, which again has cleared the way for over 1,600 yards of rushing through 7 games. So they move the ball back to the 14, and it's officially 3rd and 9, although it looks maybe like 3rd and 8. Cruson is in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers on this passing play. Cruson is going to pull it down and dives ahead, and he's going to be stopped. The initial hit came from Jack Flanagan, the junior from Madison, Connecticut. And Union's defense holds here on 3rd down.
That play will bring up 4th down.
It looks like Hobart's bringing out its field goal unit. And if it is, it would be senior kicker Rob DiGregorio. The holder is set up at the 20, so this will be a 30-yarder. Not quite at the right hash. It's blocked. It is blocked and picked up by the Dutchman. Huge play coming off the edge as the 30-yard field goal is blocked, and Hobart takes the opening kickoff, goes all the way down to the 15, and their field goal attempt is blocked, and Union will get the ball at the 25-yard line. They said Nathan Sullivan covered it up, the sophomore defensive back for the Dutchman. We'll talk about him. Nate Sullivan and his brother Cal Sullivan. Cal plays for Hobart, Nathan for the Dutchman. We'll talk about their family. They got about 40 members of the Sullivan family here in from Acton, Massachusetts, to watch the two brothers compete against each other. Cal out there right now with the Hobart defense is a senior, and Nate Sullivan is a sophomore. First play for Union is a short run for IK Erebor.
Second down coming up, a gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 from the 27.
Here's Erebor again running left after the handoff from Bellamy. Picks up a couple. IK Erebor, 18 carries for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Rochester. Had his 12th 100-yard game of his career 3 weeks ago, the last home game against St. Lawrence. Went over 100 for the 12th time in his career. Has more than 2,500 career rushing yards and 34 rushing touchdowns as IK Erebor. They're going to stick with him on 3rd down here, trying to run behind the offensive line. And this Hobart defense that is very stout in its own right causes a 3-and-out here. So after the big kickoff return by Boswell, Hobart was going to be set up. They have their field goal attempt blocked, and now Union goes 3-and-out on its first offensive drive as we're about 5 minutes into the first quarter here in Schenectady, New York. It is homecoming weekend here at Frank Bailey Field. A tremendous crowd on hand for this hugely important Liberty League game as Andrew Lau out to punt for the Dutchman. Gets away a pretty good punt. It takes a hop. Finally picked up by the Hobart return man. That's Marcus Lenz. And Lenz just steps out of bounds. It bounced all the way down inside the Hobart 20 at the 16-yard line. So some excitement in the first 5 minutes as Hobart got a huge return from Rayshawn Boswell, and then their field goal was blocked.
At the 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
And now a more traditional start to the drive back on their own 16. The Statesman will hand off here as it is Boswell, I believe that was. Nope, Denham Jr. Both Denham Jr. and Boswell have over 650 rushing yards. We talked about it. Both of them average over 90 yards a game, and their head coach, Kevin DeWall, said he believes that two of the running backs are two of the better running backs in the region. Super competitive game. He also talked about how a running game travels even in bad weather, which we don't have at the current time, as quick pass to the outside to Chris Bartosik. And now a flag comes down after the play. Bartosik got close to the first down, but I think this is going to be a post-play penalty against Hobart, as it looked like Ben Frank got tied up with a Union player and actually dumped him down to the ground. So this should push Hobart back. We'll give you the starters for this defensive unit for Union, which averages just 13 points a game. Both defenses very good. The starters up front were Jack Flanagan, Jamar Edwards, and Dan Gioso. Linebackers, Connor Fitzgerald, Tommy Cavallo, Cam Adams, and Colin Lama. Lama, a co-captain, has over 200 tackles in his career with the Dutchman. In the secondary to start was Davion Clements, Nathan Sullivan. We told you about him. He's got a lot of friends and family in attendance, playing against his older brother, Austin St. Pierre, and Azari Lewis. Cruson hands it off for Denham Jr. and a sizable pickup before he's pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Statesman. Or excuse me, fourth and long. The penalty pushed Hobart back, so they'll bring out the punt team.
Nathan Sullivan.
Sullivan credited with the tackle, so Hobart will bring out the punt team here as we approach the midway portion of this first quarter. Union returners are standing at about the 43-yard line. They've got 2 returners back there. High hanging punt from
Fair catch call, number 11.
Tobias Weffering. And a short punt, which is fair caught by Kevin Raybacks at midfield. So Union will have it 1st and 10 at midfield.
The ball will be placed at midfield. 1st and 10.
Union's second drive. They ran with Irabor. Irabor looking for a hole, now trying to bounce it outside. Jumps over a player for Hobart's defense. Only picks up a couple of yards. Give you the starters up front for the Dutchmen. It is Tim Driscoll, Chris Cachadurian, Stephen Cravani, Kevin Dewing, and Stan Koss are the starting offensive linemen. William Bellamy is the senior Louisiana kid at quarterback. And Union has had some nice play from Robbie Tolbert as we get a flag flying before the snap. Robbie Tolbert, number 5, freshman receiver from Maryland. And Andre Ross Jr., who is out there on the field. He's been banged up a little bit this season, but will already go down as one of the most prolific receivers in Union College history, over 2,300 receiving yards for Ross Jr., who is out of Washington, D.C. The false start was called on the Dutchman, pushes it back to 2nd and 12 at the Union 48. Shotgun snap for Bellamy, fakes the handoff. Going to pass it, and he's got his man right at the first down marker is Andre Ross Jr. We've talked about him. He has 7 receiving touchdowns this season, 32 for his career, which is already good for second best in Union College history.
Ball placed at the 40-yard line.
That was Andre Ross Jr.'s 28th reception of the season. Again, he's been banged up a little bit, went over 1,000 yards in 2019. Here's Irabor. Irabor trying to spin away, but he got hit hard by 26, the senior Brian Aguilar.
The loss of 1 on the play.
Hobart strength
41.
on the defense is at the linebacker positions in Emmett Ford and Brian Aguilar. They also have some seasoned players in the secondary in Jared Leake and Cal Sullivan, brother of Union's Nathan Sullivan. Irabor, not much room, and so far Hobart has done a nice job defending the Union run, as Irabor has not been able to get on track in this game. 3rd down and 10 for the Dutchman at the Hobart 40. 6:10 to go here in the first quarter. Bellamy back to pass, tries to throw it in there, and we see a flag come in as he was looking for Tolbert. It was Jared Leake, the junior from Huntington, New York, in coverage, and we get a flag. And that's a big penalty there, as it would have brought up 4th down, and it will give the Dutchman a 1st down, as the referees are talking it over here. The intended receiver was Tolbert. We've talked about him. He was the ECAC Division III North Rookie of the Month in September, 25 catches and 6 receiving touchdowns so far this season.
With the penalty, the ball will be placed at the 26-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Dutchman.
They said it was a 15-yard penalty, but then they moved it to the 26 from the 40. Go figure. They may have actually been discussing it. Was it a spot penalty under 15 yards? Either way, it's a 1st down for the Dutchman. And they go back to Irabor, IK Irabor, trying to find some room up the middle, but not much there, as Emmett Ford, the senior from South Boston, Mass., who has 30 tackles on the season, in on the stop for the Statesman.
Emmett Ford.
Again, if you joined us late here, this is a huge, huge game. Union at 7-0, ranked in the top 12 in both national polls. And Hobart 6-1, their lone loss of the season came at Ithaca earlier this month. Bellamy took a big hit from C.J. Calero. The pass was intended for Avery Turton. Incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Dutchman. Overcast skies, but again, the initial forecast was calling for rain. It rained overnight, but now it seems that the forecast is calling for rain much later in the evening. So they're hoping we can stay dry here this afternoon, as you got a huge crowd in attendance for homecoming weekend here on the campus of Union College. Bellamy looked into the end zone, and he had Ross Jr. at a step, but it was a bit overthrown as Bellamy and Ross Jr. try to connect for the second time on this drive. It'll bring up 4th down, and I think the Dutchmen are going to go for it here, the early indication, as the ball's at the 25-yard line, so it'd be a little bit of a long field goal for Andrew Lau, who was 5 of 7 this season. So on 4th and 9 from the Hobart 25, Union's going to go for it, or at least that's the initial indication here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Bellamy has 3 receivers. And he is completing the pass for a 1st down as he connects with Ross Jr. The two couldn't connect on 3rd down, but they do it on 4th and 9. And they get a 1st down for the Dutchman, as it will be 1st and 10 from the Hobart 14. Big play there. Nice route running from Andre Ross Jr. to get open, as this Union passing game can put a lot of pressure on the defense. A number of different weapons, including Ross Jr., Tolbert, Robbie Herman, Will Sermon. This pass was deflected, as coming in was Emmett Ford. Hobart has had a lot of penetration here early on. They've been able to get towards Bellamy. They've had a couple of hits on him. That time Ford came down and batted the ball, or deflected it, and it wasn't able to reach Ross Jr., as they had set up kind of a bubble screen for Ross Jr. here on the near side. So to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Dutchman. 4.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Here's Iribor. Iribor still looking to break free, and he still is, as Ford makes the tackle along with Jamie Bliss.
26, Brian Aguilar, number 28, Jamie Bliss.
They don't even give a yard to Iribor, who has been stacked up here early in this first quarter by this Hobart defense. Again, the Statesmen allow just 83 yards of rushing per game and only 220 yards total offense. A very stout defensive unit. 3rd and 10 here for the Dutchmen. Under 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. We're scoreless here at Frank Bailey Field. Bellamy fakes the handoff. He took a huge hit, and the pass is incomplete, as Bellamy took a hit from Emmett Ford, who came in again. Ford has been causing problems in the backfield for the Dutchman, and now they made it on 4th and 9 earlier, as the rain starts to come down here at Frank Bailey Field with 3:45 to go in the first quarter. The Dutchman will set up for a field goal attempt here. Lau kicks it, and it is no good. So that was about a 31-yarder, and it was no good from Lau, who's now 5 of 8 on the season. The sophomore from Westport, Connecticut, who does it all for the kicking game for the Dutchman. He's the punter, the kicker, he kicks off. Just saw that one go wide left, and we remain scoreless here with 3:40 to go in the opening quarter. Well, looking at the forecast, it does look now like there's a pocket of rain here over the next maybe hour or so, potentially, as the rain starts to come down. It'll be 1st and 10 Hobart, the Statesman's third offensive drive of this first quarter. Short pass set up for Boswell, who bobbled it, now puts it on the ground. It's a fumble, and Union, I think, has the football. The ball was loose. Boswell was near the sideline. Hobart comes out of it as it's Ludner Mercy, the center. Boy, oh boy, that was an opportunity for the Dutchman as Boswell bobbled the catch initially and then put it on the turf. I actually thought he may have been out of bounds while touching the ball, which would have made it out of bounds, but it doesn't matter as Mercy came out of the pile with the football, but I thought Union had a chance to recover that one. It'll go as no gain and be 2nd and 10 for the Statesman. Cruson rolling right. Connects with his receiver on that far sideline.
Pass completed.
It is
to number 85, Rain Daramola.
Caught by number 85, Rain Daramola, the sophomore from Maryland. 5-yard pickup before he rolls out of bounds, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Hobart. Cruson in the shotgun has a running back right next to him, 2 receivers on each side. Cruson fakes the handoff. Pass is broken up by Cavallo. They were looking for Bartosic, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Number 7, Chris Bartosic.
Cavallo, who already has a pick 6 this season, he jumped that route and was able to deliver a hit to the Hobart junior receiver, Chris Bartosic. Tommy Cavallo, 30 tackles on the season, 7 tackles for loss and a sack, and that'll bring up 4th down as Cavallo makes the big play. And it will be Weefering out for a punt, and we get a flag before it. I'm sorry, Weffering. Tobias Weffering, the freshman from Long Island. We got a false start on Hobart, so that'll push them back. Well, the defenses have been the story here in this first quarter. If you joined us late, Hobart had a very long kick return from Rayshawn Boswell to set them up at the Union 15. They got stopped, and a field goal attempt was blocked. Union has also missed a field goal in this first quarter. Here's Weffering's punt. Short kick, bounces on the Hobart side of the field, and it takes a nice statesman roll all the way down inside the 40, where it'll be down, and that's where Union will take over. Union fans, visit Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Open for lunch and dinner before or after Union games. It's the place to watch college football and hockey with friends and family. That's the Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady, a proud supporter of Union College and Union College football. Appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. UnionAthletics.com bringing you this big Liberty League matchup between Hobart and Union. IK Earbor running again, but no room through this Hobart defense. That's where very well may be where this game is decided, in the trenches. Union's offensive line against Hobart's defensive line, and vice versa on the other side. Union's defensive line against Hobart's offensive line. We told you the Statesmen average over 200 yards rushing per game. Meanwhile, the Dutchmen average pretty close to 200 themselves, 189 yards rushing a game. Here's Erebor. There's a little bit more room there for IK, who gets to the 41-yard line, but it'll still bring up 3rd down and 7. So that was a 3-yard run, and that actually looked like the best run so far for either team, and it only resulted in a 3-yard pickup. So to bring up 3rd down and 7 from the Union 41 as we approach the final minute of this first quarter. Bellamy in the shotgun. Ball tipped up in the air as Turton trying to catch it. Bellamy took another hit from C.J. Calero, senior from Miami, Florida. And the Dutchman will bring on the punt team. It's still sprinkling a bit here at Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. Andrew Lau out to punt the football away, and standing back at his own 15 is Marcus Lenz, the returner for Hobart. With the rain falling, important that they keep this football here. It's a fake punt, and here goes the Dutchman. Big run all the way down to the 25-yard line, a fake punt as they're pulling out all the stops here. The Dutchman, as that was, well, that was number 9. I'm not sure if it was Finn Duran. That was Finn Duran. He was the up man, took the carry. I didn't think he was going to get the first down initially, but when he broke through the initial line of scrimmage, he took off and was off to the races all the way down to the Hobart 25. The fake punt setting up Union with 1st and 10. Well, we've seen about everything in this first quarter. Here's Irabor. Irabor trying to pick his way, and he gets upended by number 1. Abdoulaye Diallo makes the tackle, a junior from the Bronx. And that will be the final play of an entertaining first quarter here from Schenectady, New York. We are scoreless at the end of the first quarter. We saw a blocked field goal, a missed field goal, a long kick return for Hobart to start the game, and now a fake punt as Union set up inside the Hobart 25 when we return.
Attention all young football fans at today's game. Children in costume are invited to join the Union cheer squad on the field at halftime.
Union fans, Brown Coach is the official charter company and a proud supporter of Union College athletics. Call Brown Coach or Brown Travel for all of your charter and travel needs. Getting ready to start the second quarter here from Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. It's homecoming weekend here at Union College. And this is a huge Liberty League game between the Dutchman and the Statesman. Score check from RPI Ithaca in Troy. It is RPI 7, Ithaca nothing at the start of the third quarter. As it's starting to rain in that game as well, just down the road, down Route 7 in RPI in Troy, New York. As we start the second quarter, it'll be second down from the Hobart 24, 2nd and 10 for the Dutchmen, who have 3 receivers to the near side. Bellamy in and out of the hands of Ross Jr. They had 2 receivers right in that area, and Ross Jr. and Turton, Avery Turton.
Pass intended for number 2,
the sophomore from White Plains, New York.
3rd and 10.
Robbie Tolbert was also set up on that side of the field as well. I'm not sure if Bellamy was intending to throw it to Ross Jr. because there was him and Avery Turton were right in the same area. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 here. Big 3rd down for both teams here. High snap. Bellamy takes it down, gives it to Irabor. Irabor gets through the line, and he's close to the first down. Very close to the first down. I don't think he has it, though. I think it's going to bring up 4th down. Best run of the game for IK Irabor as he finally got loose and was able to show some of his speed. And stay tuned at halftime. We've got an interview with IK Irabor that we recorded earlier this week. It was nice to sit down with the senior running back from Braintree, Massachusetts, who has already put his name into the Union College record books with his career. Here's Irabor again. He spins away, and he's in for the touchdown. On 4th down, IK Irabor says, forget about the first down. Let's get the touchdown. 9th rushing touchdown of the season for IK Irabor. And Irabor hasn't had much room to run, but he's done a His best game of his career came back against Hobart here 2 years ago. 35 carries for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. He gets the first touchdown of this afternoon's game, and Union is up 6-0, and the extra point from Lau is good, and it is 7-0 Union with 14:14 to go here in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Union College. Union fans, be sure to stop by the Center Street Pub located at 308 Union Street in Schenectady, featuring TVs to watch all of your favorite teams, great food, and live entertainment. Center Street is a proud partner of Union College Athletics and Union College football. So 7-0 Union leads Hobart. The touchdown was set up by the fake punt, long run from Finn Duran. And a gutsy call from Union head coach Jeff Behrman on 4th down to fake the punt. Leads to the big play and a touchdown, and Union leads it 7-0. Lau, who just kicked the extra point, will kick off here for the Dutchman. Back deep for the Statesmen are Boswell and Denham Jr. It'll be Denham Jr. Now waiting for Boswell to get in front of him to block. Still on his feet, flag flies, and that looks like it probably will push the Statesman back as Denham Jr. down at the 21-yard line. And now a Union player is down after the play. See what the flag is here, but there is a Union player down after Denham Jr. went down at the 21. Trying to see a number here for the Dutchman.
On the return, hold against Hobart, number 54. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Holding is the call against Hobart, and will back the Statesman up. Looks like that's 59, Cole Da Silva, the sophomore linebacker, who is coming off the field a little gingerly on that right side, it looks like. Da Silva making his way off the field, gets a round of applause here from what is a tremendous crowd who's hung in here through some of the sprinkles in this first half. Again, it's homecoming weekend here at Union College and family weekend. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Statesmen. The ball is spotted at the Hobart 12. And it'll be Cruson in the shotgun. He's going to go deep here, looking long and connecting with James Mealy.
To number 3, James Mealy.
And Mealy is down at the 42 of the Dutchman. Big play for Hobart.
1st and 10 to go. Ball placed at the 42-yard
As that
line.
will be about a 45-yard pass from Cruson to James Mealy, the senior from Duxbury, Massachusetts. Cruson, the senior from Ringgold, Pennsylvania, let it fly there. He's over 1,000 yards now on the season for Hobart. Handing it off for Boswell. Boswell starts right, tries to cut back left, and doesn't have any room
Rayshawn Boswell
as he's
on the
tackled
play.
by Colin Lama is in
Tackled on
there.
the play.
Also
53, Thomas Cavallo.
Cavallo and Gioso in there on the tackle for
2nd and 11 from
the
43.
Dutchman. 1 yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 11, 2 minutes into this second quarter. Again, stay with us at halftime. We'll take a look at the big Liberty League game happening just down the road in Troy. We'll take a look at some first half statistics, and we have an interview with senior running back I.K. Iribor, who has the game's lone touchdown. Here is Boswell again, and he's not going anywhere. They tried to run like an RPO, and Cruson ended up giving it to Boswell, and Boswell probably like, thanks. because he got swallowed up by 3 Union defenders.
Play, number 53, Thomas Cavallo.
They say
Number
Cavallo
8,
in on the tackle again.
Jamar
And
Edwards.
Jamar Edwards, a junior nose tackle from White Plains, New York, who's had a nice season for the Dutchman up front. Third down and 13 for Hobart. Ball at the Union 45. Cruson has 4 receivers. Shotgun snap. Pass is caught, but it will be way short of the first down by Alex Labella.
To number
Good
84,
tackle
Thomas
by, I believe that
Cavallo.
was Davion Clements,
Tackle
sophomore
play,
from the Bronx.
Number 3.
So that was a
Clements.
another.
That play will bring up 4th
I thought that was a 5-yard pass to the Union 40, but now they just spotted the ball at the 42. So there's only a 3-yard pass as they'll bring Weffering out to punt. Weffering a punt, and it was caught by
Catch called, number 4.
4. Shazier Sullivan made the catch, then started to run, and the referees were whistling it. So I didn't see it, but I guess he must have indicated a fair catch. So the ball will be spotted at the Union 15-yard line. That was a bit of a weird
It'll be 1st and
situation.
for the Dutchman. Ball placed at the 15-yard line.
As we are going to be joined by a special guest here, 11:12 to go in the first half, and we are being joined by James Baker. As the first play for Union is on this drive is IK Earbor running right, lost a couple of yards. James Baker, 1996 graduate of Hobart College. The cat's out of the bag now, but also the co-host of In the D3 Football Huddle,
That's right.
which is a is a pretty well-known show that covers the Division III landscape, and actually hopped in a plane from Florida to come up to see this big matchup. That's how big this game is.
This game is really big. It has national playoff implications. It's a huge game for both programs.
And so James Baker, who I may refer to as JB here
That's all right.
as we go on, as this pass is caught right near the sideline by Ross Jr., and it's close to a first down as he slid out of bounds at the 25. We'll see where they spot it. But JB, you've been here so far. What are your not only your impressions of obviously the first half, but a terrific crowd on hand here at Schenectady, New York?
Yeah, I mean, in spite of the fact that we have a little bit of that late October upstate New York wet weather, and it's kind of nicer day than what was originally forecast. So a little bit more of a low-scoring game to start off, but looks like Union's offense is starting to gain a little momentum here and confidence. Hobart has been shooting themselves in the foot, and the great special teams play by Union blocking the early score really has set the Statesmen back.
They actually spotted the ball short of the first down. It was 3rd and 1, and IK Erebor was able to get out over the 30-yard line. So it'll be a first down for Union at the 32-yard line. Dutchman leading at 7-0 here with 9:30 to go in the first half. Bellamy takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's got Ross Jr. He's putting it up, and he catches it. Big play as Bellamy connects with Ross Jr. all the way down inside the Hobart 20, close to the 15-yard line. Those two have connected a couple of times in this first half, but that was really the first big play.
Yeah, and that was 1 versus 1. I mean, that's Ross Jr. against Hobart's #1 cover corner, Jared Leak. Just blew by him, wide open, great throw by Bellamy.
And Leak is a tremendous player in his own right. Had
yes.
3 interceptions, a couple of the most recent season. I don't know how many times I've said last year.
Yeah, it's hard to forget, or easy to forget rather.
Right,
yeah.
right. And Leak has 1 interception this season, but as you said, JB, Ross beat him on that long play, and then a short run for Jonathan Anderson, a freshman from Hamden, Connecticut. Well, we haven't seen a lot of scoring, as you alluded to there. We've seen a lot of big plays. Boswell took the opening kickoff almost all the way to the house.
Yep.
And then we've had a fake punt. We've had a couple of missed field goals, so there's been a lot happening in this first half,
Yeah.
even though there's only been one touchdown.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like Union's offense gets a little more conservative when they're in the red zone. It'll be interesting to see maybe some play action here if they can catch the Statesman. Oh, yeah,
And
no, right up the
Anderson,
middle.
trying to run up the middle. Jonathan Anderson, just a freshman in his freshman year, already closing in on 400 yards rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns. As Union, both of these teams can run the football very well. Hobart, 233 yards rushing per game.
Yep.
Union, 189 yards rushing per game. So when we talked to both coaches leading up to this game, you really thought whoever wins that battle, it's always the offensive line versus defensive line. But whoever could maybe win that battle on both sides of the football was going to have a good chance to have success this afternoon. Bellamy in the shotgun here. It's third down. He's going to throw it to the near side. He had Ross Jr. and just overshot him as he was looking in the corner, and now it'll be fourth down. I'm interested to see if they bring out the field goal. Yeah.
They've gone for it a few times, and it's worked out for them. That last touchdown that Erebor had was on a fourth down call. And, looks like the field goal unit's coming out, though.
Lau, again, does a little bit of everything for Union kicking. He's the kicker, the punter, he kicks off, but he has missed a field goal already in this first half. He's 5 of 8 on the season, did connect on the extra point on the touchdown. It looks like they're going to set him up here at the right hash. It'll be about a 26-yarder because the holder, Stratton Sherman, is at the 16. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 7:28 to go in the first half, it's Union 10 and Hobart nothing. As we're being joined by James Baker.
Yep, and while you were talking earlier about the battle in the trenches, one of the things that's interesting about the Statesman's defense that's evolved over the last few years, they've gone to more of a 3-down lineman set where they bring a rusher, like an outside linebacker, off the edge. And so the fact that Union likes to play in more of a max protect, keeping 7 or 8 men in the box to block gives them an advantage, I think. And this is going to be a really critical series for Hobart. They're down 10 on the road in a big rivalry game. They need to win this game to have any hope of a postseason berth. So this drive could really tilt the game into Union's favor if their defense can get a stop. I would maybe advise not kicking it to Rayshawn Boswell, though.
I think Union tried to kick away, although you got 2 big weapons back there in Denham Jr. and Boswell.
Pick your poison.
Lau may best be served just to drill it out of the back of the end zone if he's got enough of his right leg here. This one is going to be a short one.
Well,
it is World Series time, so Denham Jr. takes it from the right side, trying to come to the near sideline, and he's able to be tackled before he hits the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
So they almost, you said, a kind of a pop fly, but Union was able to get their defenders down there as the ball was in the air.
Well, the nice thing, even though there is a slight drizzle, there really is no wind out there. And so we've seen some balls get to hang up there, even that long pass that Cruson threw to Melee a little bit earlier. That ball felt like it was up in the air forever. And they might need a throw like that from Cruson here to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone here, inside their own red zone, to get closer to midfield here. It will be interesting to see what Coach DeWall has called here.
Cruson certainly at least takes a back seat to the running game, but he is a capable passer, the senior from Pennsylvania. Has 3 receivers, 2 to the far side here on first down from the Hobart 18.
Nope, it's a keeper.
Scrambles,
geez.
He takes a big hit there as he was trying to get to the left side, as it was Austin St. Pierre up from the safety position.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Made a hit.
The lumber.
After about a 3 or 4 yard run. As we're being joined by James Baker here in the midway stages of the second quarter. 7 minutes to go before halftime. Do have to ask you, you've got the Tampa Bay Bucks jacket on. When I talked to head coach Kevin DeWall earlier, obviously I have to ask about former Hobart alum, Super Bowl champion Ali Marpet. And Kevin DeWall just could not say enough good things about Ali Marpet. He wasn't actually the head coach. He was an assistant coach.
Yeah, offensive coordinator and O-line coach for Ali,
who worked with Marpet and basically just says he could not be a better ambassador for Hobart College. And now you're hearing Hobart all the time because Tampa Bay, they've got a lot of primetime games, and who in the starting lineup? Ali Marpet, Hobart College.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that the 6-1 start for the Buccaneers is the best that they've ever had in the first 7 weeks of a regular season. So obviously having Tom Brady as your quarterback helps out a lot. But yeah, the Bucs are doing well. They play the Saints tomorrow.
Coach Kevin DeWall said, Ali Marpet, not that I think he thought this would happen, but even winning a Super Bowl has not changed Ali Marpet in any way, and really – not only is he gone from the D3 level to play at the NFL, he is one of the best offensive linemen, offensive guards in the NFL.
He really is. I mean, for some reason, Quentin Nelson seems to be getting a lot of the All-Pro love every year, but Allie's been right up there, and he's due any day now to get that All-Pro recognition. He's always highly graded by PFF and other, pro football tracking websites. Having a great year again.
2015 graduate Ali Marpet was the second round 61st selection from Tampa Bay. And it's just been a terrific story, as this one is a high snap. Cruson bobbles it. Now he's got an open receiver.
He had more room to run if he just knew where he was on the field. That's Hobart's receiver, Alex Labella. He broke open, but I don't think he realized he was so close to the sideline. He could have picked up another 5 to 10 yards if he was a little more aware.
I think Labella was thinking, oh, boy, this play.
I better not drop it.
Right. This was like a doomed play. We might as well just take as much success as we can after that bobbled snap. Cruson did a nice job to get himself under control and find Labella.
Yeah.
Those two have connected a couple times. Labella, as you said, JB, is Hobart's top receiver, 25 catches coming into the game this afternoon. 3 receivers to the far side for Cruson. Low snap this time.
Good protection for Cruson, though. He's throwing it out to, nice over-the-shoulder catch. Is that in bounds?
Marcus Lenz.
Yeah, he's a relatively new player for the Statesman. Not a lot of game action so far, but if he keeps making catches like that, he's going to get some more looks.
Well, we heard in your, again, being joined by James Baker, co-host of In the D3 Football Huddle. We heard you leading up to this game in the matchup of the skill position for Union, which certainly on paper the edge goes to them. And I think your words were the Hobart receivers are a little green.
Yep.
But there was one of the green receivers there, Marcus Lenz, a sophomore from Montrose, New York, made a nice catch to get inside the Union 30 as the Statesmen are on the drive here with 4 minutes to go.
Keeper.
Cruson faked the handoff, kept it himself, and he's able to get 4 yards down to the 25.
Yeah, Coach DeWall likes to throw in a little RPO, run-pass option types of calls like that. Cruson's a very athletic quarterback. He can tuck it and run if he has to, and so far it looks like Union's, they have to respect the dual-headed running attack of Hobart with Denham and Boswell, so it makes sense that Cruson would call his own plays a few times.
So it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Statesmen. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. 3:20 to go in the first half. Handoff to Denham Jr., who spins out of the first tackle, but not much room there. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 2 or 3 here for Hobart. And as you said, leading into this drive, a big drive for Hobart, JB.
Yeah.
Statesman trailing 10-0 here, and now getting close to having to maybe make a call on 4th down, as it'll be 3rd and officially 3.
Yeah. I think this might be another one of those things where we might see the RPO with Cruson just trying to fake the handoff and just get those 4 yards that he needs. But we got Labella, and I think that's Ware out to the far right, or Dari. He's one of the newer receivers as well. And that's almost a
pass, almost intercepted.
That could have been a pick 6, man. That was nowhere near the Hobart receiver. I'm not sure if there was a route mistake there. Cruson's lucky that wasn't run back for 6.
Looking for Daramola there, the sophomore, as you said. May have even been the miscommunication. I think Cruson thought maybe he was just going to curl off the route, and he just kept going towards the end zone.
Yeah, he did. There was definitely a miscommunication here. Big 3rd down play for Hobart, though. They need to convert this, otherwise they might be looking at a 10-0 or even bigger deficit at halftime.
It's a 4th down. 4th down right now.
Yeah, 4th down.
4th down and 3 after the incompletion. That was almost an interception. Cruson has 3 receivers to the far side. Big play here, 4th and 3. Cruson has it, scrambles to his right now, passes, connects. and it'll be good for a first down as it looks like he hooked up with a tight end there.
That's one of the senior co-captains for Hobart. That's Mike Zaccone.
Zaccone, yeah.
Very rarely used as a receiver. Big body, though, strong body, and he held on to that ball for dear life and got that first down. That was a big call for Hobart.
The junior from Wayne, New Jersey, as you mentioned, JB, only has 3 catches, now make it 4.
Yep.
None bigger than that one on fourth down. With 2 minutes to go, Hobart set up first down and 10 at the Union 13. Cruson in the shotgun. Has Denham Jr. in the backfield with him.
Motion, that's Labella.
They give it to Denham Jr. running right. And he had a couple of yards to the 10 before being pushed back by...
I think that's the host of Dutchmen.
Yeah, the host of Dutchmen, including Lama, Cavallo, and Cam Adams, the trio of linebackers up to make the stop. They actually spot the ball at the 9, so a 4-yard run for Denham Jr.
Clock is running.
That's right, 1:20 to go in this half. Hobart obviously is right down here on the doorstep, but they do have to keep an eye on the clock with 1:10 now to go. The rain's starting to sprinkle again here at Frank Bailey Field.
Yeah, it is picking up. Nope.
And we got a flag.
This is another thing Hobart likes to run is the Wildcat formation with Boswell. They've scored some of their longest touchdowns of the year with him just taking the direct snap from center. But here we go. This is like the 5th or 6th penalty on Hobart. They're the most penalized team in the Liberty League, averaging almost 80 yards a game. I know they're a young team, but they really got to clean this up. That's close to 6 or 7 penalties in the first half.
Well, head coach Kevin DeWall talked that they've rotated about 6 to 8 guys on that offensive line, which he thought was a strength. But as you said, JB, they've got to can't commit penalties, especially inside the opponent's 10-yard line.
Yep. Well, there's a quarterback keeper.
Cruson,
he's got a lane.
Running right, had a lane, as you said, JB, and then he gets tackled by Lama, I believe that is.
Timeout Hobart.
And 93 Flanagan, 38 seconds to go, and we got a timeout. PA said that there was a flag on the field, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see anything either.
I see a lot of yellow markings, but that's for the other sports here.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is a big situation for the Statesmen. I think they're going to lean on their run game. They may try and do the student body right and look to throw back. They won the game against I think St. Lawrence with a play where they spread Labella out wide left and put him in one-on-one situation and then fake to the right, threw it back to the corner end zone. He made the catch, and that helped them survive a potential upset. Speaking of potential upsets, Andrew, RPI is RPI is beating Ithaca.
Yeah, I thought you would.
7 in the late third quarter.
I thought you would bring that up.
That's another big Liberty League game that could affect the playoffs.
Troy, New York has been a house of horrors dating back to my time at Ithaca when we came as students in 2003 in the NCAA tournament, and RPI won the Snow Bowl.
Yeah.
Ithaca has not fared well in Troy.
3rd and 4, but Hobart can get a first down without scoring.
As JB said, the rain's starting to pick up a tad here as we approach halftime. Cruson has some time. Now he's running out of time. Now he makes another move and just gets rid of it. Denham Jr. made a couple of moves. He's close to the first down.
That might be a first down. They haven't stopped the clock yet, though.
This clock still has not stopped.
21 seconds. Wow.
I think Hobart took a timeout. It's actually they flipped the dial down over to 4th down already. So
this might be like 4th and inches then, and they don't need a first down.
Interesting scenario here because, again, 4th down. They've already had a field goal blocked.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, if you're head coach Kevin DeWall, he always talks about the Hobart way.
Yes.
Well, what's the Hobart way here on 4th and inches
at
inside the Union 5?
Well, you're on the road. You're down 10. You're a big underdog. The same thing happened with the game against Ithaca. Hobart was losing, and they scored right before the half to make it a game. I think Hobart's going to go for it with some type of running play, just try to pound ahead, get that. Whatever, it's hard to tell from all far away up here, but it's probably like less than a yard. And then they would
probably about the length of, few pieces of paper that we've got up here in the press box.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see the Wildcat look. I don't see Cruson on the field right now. It looked like it could be a direct snap to Boswell. Here comes the Wildcat.
Boswell is in the shotgun with Denham Jr. next to him. It is Boswell looking left, now
That's a
cutting
touchdown.
back, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. So both teams have scored on fourth downs. This was a big touchdown for Hobart with 19 seconds to go in the first half, and now an extra point away from making this a field goal game. As you called it, Wildcat, JB.
It's been their best offensive play the whole year. I mean, Boswell, it was some crazy statistic. He scores a touchdown every 7 touches or something like that, and a lot of it's come out of this Wildcat formation. He's having a great season, potential all-region, all-American type of year, and Ike Erbor is no slouch.
Yeah.
Some great running back talent on the field today.
12th rushing touchdown of the season for Rayshawn Boswell.
That one was on a block, too. Oh, that was close.
Extra point from Rob DiGregorio is up, and it is good. We got a flag after the play as a Union player, looked like a Union player got knocked down.
Yeah, well,
Which would be, if it's a post-play penalty, it would be the second of the game in the first half against Hobart.
yeah, maybe enforced on the kickoff. Let's see what the referee has to say.
I'm sure that's something that head coach Kevin DeWall is not a big fan of.
No.
We have a dead ball, personal foul against the kickers. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on
The kicker. I haven't heard too many penalties called on a place kicker before, Andrew. That might be the first.
I'm not sure if he said the kicker or the kickers. It looked like he was a little bit confused. I think he was trying to orient himself.
team, maybe?
Which team? Yeah, which team was that who
Yeah.
committed the penalty? Because
Well, I don't know if Rob DiGregorio would be one of
Yeah, I don't
those
think
take
so.
that sort of
I don't think so.
talker, but at the end of the day, Andrew, 19 seconds left, may not really have a huge impact. Although, Hobart's going to have to kick from they're about their 20-yard line. It'll give the Union a relatively short field, and Bellamy has the arm to take a shot or two. Why not? I do think, though, Hobart will probably try a little squib kick, get the ball bouncing around, and
Maybe get it wet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you for having me up here.
Sure,
to
no
get me out of
problem.
the rain.
It-
This is a big
before once we hit halftime, I do want to ask you a few other questions,
Sure.
and then let our fans know who are watching how they can catch all of your action, your coverage for the rest of the season. So hang with us here.
Absolutely.
19 seconds to go before halftime. We're being joined by James Baker, JB, the co-host of In the D3 Football Huddle. Started as In the Huddle with 2 L's.
With 2 L's for the Liberty League, yes, indeed.
That was many years ago, and it's transformed into a podcast that covers the entire D3 landscape.
Nice kick back to the 27.
Return up the middle, breaking away, getting close to midfield was number 11, Kevin Raybacks, the junior from Westport, Connecticut. So there's 14 seconds on the clock. There is a Hobart player down.
Yeah, uh-oh.
But I think, like you said, JB, Coach Behrman usually plays it pretty conservatively, especially with the lead.
Yeah.
But the ball's at the Union 49. It might not be a bad idea maybe to take a shot or two down the field and see, because maybe the worst thing that happens is an interception, but essentially it would be way down the field. We'll see what happens.
Or given some of Hobart's disciplinary issues on the field, they might get a DPI call, and even though it's just 15 yards, it's not a spot foul, easy for me to say, in the pros. It could get them closer for one more shot. I mean, Frank and I were up here watching practice last night, and the weather was obviously better than it is today, but Will Bellamy's got a great arm. He was just throwing the ball all over the place, great accuracy. So I wouldn't, I would give him at least one chance to throw one deep and see what happens.
It does look like Travis James, the offensive coordinator for the Dutchman with the visor on there, is giving more instructions than just kneel down here to his offensive lineman. So let's see if Union takes a crack at it as Hobart's player.
Trying to catch his number here. And
It's
see.
being covered up here.
Yeah.
Not putting any pressure, though, on that right leg.
I hope it's not Saccone, the tight end. It looks like it could be like maybe number 80 or 20 or something like that. And that would be a big loss. Saccone, once again, not a big receiving threat, but he is one of the Hobart captains and a leader of that offense. So that would be a big loss if it looks like his knee is injured. He's going to go into the tent for some observation, but it doesn't look like he's coming back in, whoever that guy was injured on that play. Here we go.
So Bellamy, maybe he'll take a shot. No, they're going
It's
to
a
hand it
draw.
off for Irabor. Irabor,
That's a fumble. Oh, no, ball's down.
ball popped out,
Well, wishful thinking by Hobart there.
Irabor on the play.
picked up by
There's no
34, Jay McCoy.
Yeah, he's one of the sophomore sort of reserve defensive backs. He's got a brother on the team from Vermont. His dad's a high school coach.
Joe.
Mhm.
Yep. From Manchester, Vermont. Speaking of brothers, we've got brothers on opposite sides here today,
Yeah,
too. The
yeah,
Sullivans,
Nate and
Cal,
Cal.
Nate
Yeah.
and Cal.
And Nate had that recovery on the Hobart field goal block, so he's making his presence known.
And I already saw they do have some shirts. They're from Acton, Mass. They've
Yep.
got their family. They were expecting about 40 family members here.
They have a big crowd.
Yeah, I saw the
I
shirts.
ran
They've
into
got
them.
Hobart and Union on it.
Yep.
So that's a pretty cool story. And they were featured in their hometown newspaper yesterday, I believe.
Wicked local and Acton,
Yeah.
Boxborough
Yeah.
area. Yep, and then out suburbs of Boston.
And both of them were actually quarterbacks in high
Yes.
school, and now both playing in the secondary for their respective schools. So that was a pretty cool story.
Yeah. I also saw Nate doing some long snaps at practice late yesterday. So he
I
might
saw
be
that. I
He's getting
saw
some
that.
special team time as well, not just picking up fumbles. He can snap the ball.
So they ruled Irabor down. He got a first down.
It's a 41. They're
It's
at
at the
41
of Hobart with 8 seconds to go. Union took a timeout. Union has a couple timeouts, but there's only 8 seconds left. So it'll be, again, Bellamy with Irabor in the backfield and 3 receivers, including a tight end out
Same
there.
draw play.
Or not including a tight end. Here's Irabor again trying to maybe just get loose, get a
That's
little
what-
closer, and they call timeout with 2 seconds to go.
That's what he had a ton of success against Hobart doing in 2019. I swear, the 191
Yeah,
yards. that
his
he-
career
that he-
day, yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of plays like that, just quick draws, and just was able to fake out the Hobart defense. Well, 2 seconds left. I don't think Lau's leg is probably going to give you a kick from here. What's that? Would that be like a 50-something yard field goal?
Yeah, so it's at the 36, so yeah,
yeah.
it would be about a 50-yarder. He does have a 71-yard punt this season.
71, wow.
That was not in the air.
Okay.
He got he got about a 20-yard roll, but
There
it was
you go.
maybe 30-yard roll. It was one of these windy days. It just got going and just kept rolling down the field.
I think one of the best things that ever happened to punters, Andrew, was artificial turf, because I swear
Yeah.
it just skips and just rolls on.
Especially
down
on a day like today, it wouldn't just dunk into
Yep.
into the sod.
Yeah.
So we'll see here. 2 seconds to go. 10-7 Union leading it. Hobart scoring the most recent touchdown on a Wildcat, Rayshawn Boswell's 12th rushing touchdown. He's also got 3 receiving touchdowns, so 15th total touchdown of the season for Boswell. We'll see what they do here on second down. Ball spotted at the 36, and now I wouldn't be surprised if Hobart spent its last time out here on defense
Yeah.
after seeing the way Union set up. So while we have a break, we'll ask you a couple questions here first.
Sure.
What your thoughts of the Liberty League? Because talking to head coach Kevin DeWall, he said the conference is really as strong as he can remember it, and he actual quote was, "Whoever wins this thing will be battle tested when they come out of that."
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the the 2002 to 2006 era when you had RPI, Union, Hobart, and everyone was like constantly battling back and forth. Those teams are going into the playoffs. There's some epic games between the programs, and it's gotten even better with the addition of Ithaca into the Liberty League. And so, today is going to answer a lot of questions, or it could throw a wrench into the system if all of a sudden we have a bunch of one-loss teams across the board. RPI is trying to still play spoiler here. It looks like they're still hanging on to a 7-3 lead late in the third quarter. Well, no, actually into the fourth quarter, RPI is up 14-3.
That game started at noon.
Wow. Okay. Bombers in trouble.
So the Liberty League has 4 teams really in the national picture here. Last play of the first half, unless
And
we
he's
get a
going for
penalty.
it. That's nope. Well, it was a.
You said he's got a good arm, Bellamy
Yeah.
does. He sent that one to the end zone a little too far for his intended receiver, and we've reached halftime.
Great first half.
Halftime score is Union 10 and Hobart 7. Stay tuned here. We'll give you the statistics from the first half. We also have an interview we recorded with senior running back IK Irabor, who had the Union rushing touchdown in the first half. Saw a little bit of everything in that first half. Couple of missed field goals, blocked field goal, big kick return, couple of rushing touchdowns on fourth down, and Union has a field goal edge here through the first half of this uber important Liberty League game. Union 7-0 and Hobart 6-1, and the winner certainly remains in good position here as we get towards the finish line here of this Liberty League season. JB, appreciate you joining us here in the second quarter. First, your thoughts, I guess, on D3 football in general here. Obviously, a very limited season, basically no season last year for a lot of these programs. Some teams played, in
the South,
scrimmages
and
practices,
Midwest,
or intra-squad games. But getting back on the field here, how important for these Division III programs do you think that is?
Well, if there was one positive that came out of the cancellation of the 2020 season for most of the, I will say, the Eastern D3 schools, was the fact that it did allow the coaches of various programs to have a lot of extra practice time, including practices with pads and helmets in the springtime. That's normally not a thing at the D3 level. Build some team chemistry. The rosters of these teams have never been bigger, which I assume only helps with competition.
Because you've got some fifth-year guys who've hung around.
Who've come back. You've got basically a double freshman class of sorts with true freshmen and true sophomores, but technically they have that extra year of eligibility. The confusing thing for us will be probably next year you're going to be calling a game that has senior David Cruson for Hobart when he was a senior this year, because I think he's coming back.
Right.
There might be some guys from Union who are technically seniors who are coming back.
Yep.
And so keeping track of who's who is going to be a little tricky with that extra year of eligibility.
And then finally hear from you before we get you out of here, and you can go enjoy the game down in the stands.
Is it stopped raining yet?
It looks like it has stopped raining, so this might be prime
Perfect
time for you.
timing.
Maybe a sprinkle or two out there. But again, being joined by James Baker, co-host of In the D3 Football Huddle, class of 1996 Hobart. Tell everybody who's watching, listening, how they can follow you guys and your coverage the remainder of this season and in future moving forward.
Yeah. Well, obviously we have a couple of our primary platform is through our Facebook channel, and you can look us up at In the D3FB Huddle on Facebook. Like us, follow us, whatever. We also do provide a lot of content through our at D3FB Huddle Twitter and Instagram feeds. You can follow Frank, my co-host, who's a Union grad and enjoying homecoming in the rain as well, I'm sure.
And your post-game coverage here from this game,
exactly.
You guys.
We'll be going live from our Facebook channel, so you can follow Frank at Frank Rossi as well. And so Frank this is his 15th game he's attended this season. He's on the road a lot. This is the first time he hasn't really been on the road, which is nice. First game for me in a long time, and it feels great to be back in a D3 atmosphere on a big game like this and a homecoming game. And even though the weather is a little dreary, great game in the first half, should be an excellent second half.
Appreciate it, James Baker.
Thank you very much.
Our first time meeting face-to-face, but I feel like we've known each other for
years.
many, many times because of your great, outstanding coverage of not only the Liberty League but of all Division III conferences. So we appreciate you joining us here in the second quarter, and best of luck rooting on your alma mater, Hobart, from the sidelines here in the second half, as I know you'll enjoy this second half.
You know what, Andrew? The one thing that's been really great, and one of the great things about D3 football in doing the show, is I've gotten to know players from so many teams, including
families.
And families. Like you mentioned Colin Lama earlier. I ran into his mom, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's nice to meet you." And Will Bellamy and Will Sermon have become guys I feel like I'm helping mentor as they're starting to think about what they're going to do after football. And it just I'll be happy for whichever team wins this game. Obviously maybe a teeny bit more if my alma mater pulls it off. But I would feel bad for Will and the Dutchman too. It's going to be a great finish no matter what. These teams always battle hard, and should be a great, exciting second half.
Again, appreciate your time and your
much
coverage
for having
as
me.
always. Stick around, fans. We're going to have an interview we pre-recorded with senior running back IK Irabor. So that is coming up here as we go through halftime. The halftime score, it is Hobart trailing Union here on homecoming weekend. It's 10-7. here at Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. Again, we'll have a interview coming up with senior running back IK Irabor. We are back. It is halftime in the game between Union College and Hobart, and we are joined by Union senior running back IK Irabor. And IK, appreciate you. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Just talk about this season. You guys are undefeated, 7-0. I know the coaching staff and Coach Behrman in particular talk about one game at a time, the process, practice. Getting better each day, but what has this season been like? You guys are 7-0 and ranked, in the top 15 in the country in both polls. What has this season been like for you guys?
This season's been like the most fun season I've played football-wise, personally, because we have a group of guys that just love to play the sport. So it's just fun coming out every practice. We're all running around, giving it our best. And then when it comes to game time, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it just flows. We know what we're doing. We know what our assignments are. It's always a good feeling.
You haven't been out there every game because of injury, but it doesn't matter who's out there. Whether it's Griff Wallner, Michael Fiore, Jonathan Anderson, you guys are all doing a great job running the football. And I think part of the credit obviously has to go to the offensive line. And just what can you say about those guys up front and what they've been able to do this season? And it's an experienced group, but what can you say about how the offensive line has played this season?
The offensive line has played amazing. They're a strong, gritty group of guys. They'll put their head down and make holes for us. Make sure that we know where we're going. They always know what the word is, what they need to do, and love running behind them. I always can trust them.
Being joined by senior running back IK Irabor, and the last season, obviously you guys are 7-0 and making your way, hopefully to bigger and better things this year. But the last full completed season was back in 2019 when you guys won the league title and reached the NCAA tournament. You had an outstanding season. You were named Liberty League Offensive Player of the Year. You received the team offensive MVP, 1,231 yards, which ranked 8th all-time in school history. What was maybe the last thing? I know you're thinking about this season, obviously, but how great was that 2019 season to reach the NCAA tournament and win a game in the NCAAs?
It was a huge milestone. The whole team came together so hyped after getting announced that we were being in the NCAA tournament. It was just a great feeling.
IK, your rushing numbers and your rushing touchdowns. We mentioned your sophomore season being 8th all time in single season rushing, but you've got. You're closing in, you're over 2,500 rushing yards, which is good for top 10 in program history, and 34 rushing touchdowns, which is third best in program history. Not to mention you've got 38 receptions out of the backfield. What can you say about your career? I know there's obviously games still to go, and we want to you want to keep this going as long as possible. But your name is going to be in the program record books for quite some time. What do you think that says about you and what you've been able to accomplish at Union College?
Honestly, it's all account for my team. They set me up for great positions to score, set me up for great play moments to get good yards. You got large rushing yards, and our coaches Coach Behrman definitely plans out the game well for us to get us good opportunities to get what we need to do. So I honestly credit to my coaching staff and my team.
Being joined by senior running back IK Irabor. It's halftime of the Union College football game and homecoming weekend against Hobart College. IK, take me back now to, when you just were starting to play football. Have you always played running back? Is that the position And what about that position do you like? What makes that position the one that you enjoy?
All right, so I started playing football when I was a freshman in high school, and I started with I was a cornerback and running back. Cause I guess they liked how fast I was, so they wanted me to be on defense, be able to cover guys, be able to just be able to be a presence on defensive side. But what drove me to being a running back was I feel like you have a lot of freedom as a running back once the ball's in your hands. You have to play instinctual. You just got to know what you need to do to make the best play. It's all once the ball's in your hands, it's all up to you to see what you got to do. So I enjoyed that because it's a challenge. If your eyes aren't right, as our coach would say, if your eyes aren't right, then the play can ultimately fail. So you got to make sure you're focused at all times when you're back there. So I like that challenge. I enjoy that challenge. So that's why running back is, I feel like, a great position for me.
How would you describe your running style? Because it seems like when you're running, it seems like everything is moving in slow motion. You're picking your holes. You're very patient, waiting for the holes to open, but at the same time, it looks like even though you're being patient, it's almost like even when you're moving up to the line and looking for a hole, you're moving faster than everybody else because, it just seems like you're able to get to top speed very quickly. How would you describe your running back, your running back philosophy or how your running style?
I definitely started as just a speed shifty back, but through college, I've been able to learn patience. So that's what everybody's saying now. I'm being more patient. I keep my shiftiness, but I'm trying to add new aspects to my game on the field. I'm trying to add a juke move here or there, let less spins, get up the field, get more yards. But all in all, I feel like I'm basically built like a shifty back that could also hit you if need be.
Being joined by senior running back I.K. Irabor, and I.K., a native of Braintree, Massachusetts. What was it about Union? You guys now are part of a school record, 20 straight regular season victories here and counting, hopefully. But what was it about Union College? How did you learn about the college, and what ultimately was the decision or the reason that you decided that Union was the right place for you?
I first learned about the college actually in a family camp my senior year of high school, where I got recruited. I got recruited by Ben Martin in linebacker, running back drill, actually. So then that's when this conversation started. And then I want to say a couple months after that, I started talking to Coach Berman, and they got me up for an official visit. And that's honestly the official visit is what did it for me. Talking with all the coaches, I knew they had my best interest at heart, football wise and academic wise. So I just felt like I fit well with it. Fit well with this organization. So and also the team. When I first got on campus, they welcomed me with open arms. They would let me know what was going on, showing me everything. I just felt like I was in a family when I came up here. So that's honestly what brought me to make my final decision to come here.
Being joined by senior running back I.K. Irabor. And I.K., you not only played football in high school, but also track and field. Obviously, that's where you learned to, hone your speed, or at least you were able to, show your speed in more ways than just on the football field. But what events or what event did you enjoy the most when you were participating in track and field in high school, or what were you which one were you the best at?
My favorite events were definitely the long jump and the 4x1, and my best event would be the long jump. I think I almost broke the state record. There's 24.4 feet, I think, was what I got my last meet. But yeah, those two are my favorite and best events personally.
We've reached the quick hitter section of the interview, where we'll just kind of throw out something and get your quick reaction on it. So, being a Massachusetts guy, what about favorite sports teams
It doesn't have to be football. Favorite sports teams, growing up or even right now. What teams are you like diehard for here?
Being a Mavs guy, I've always been a Patriots fan. That's always the team I've always rooted for every year. When I first learned about football, it's been Patriots fan from the beginning to now. I don't think I'm going to be changing from that.
How about favorite players? Again, doesn't have to be football. It could be any other sport. Could be running back. Could be any favorite players that you watched or still watch right now.
My favorite players would be LeBron James being one, considering all that he's been able to accomplish. Randy Moss, I love watching him play, even like watching his highlights and all that stuff. And who else do I have? Saquon's a new one because he's just somebody I want to be able to play like. So I like to have. He's my new favorite running back right now.
Those are three good ones for sure. How about like a favorite TV show or like a favorite series or something that you recently watched?
Favorite TV? Well, right now I'm actually watching Lock and Key with some of my friends. Like pretty good show. I can't complain. It's very interesting. And a new one that just came out recently, Squid Game. I'd say that's a must watch. That's a pretty good TV show to watch.
That's like just out, brand new show. What about favorite movie?
Favorite movie, I would have to say I'm a big superhero guy to begin with, so I would say the Snyder Cut, the Justice League Snyder Cut, or Batman Begins.
Okay. How about like favorite style of music or something, that maybe you're listening to it before the game to get you pumped up, something, what music do you have on, what are you listening to?
I honestly listen to all type of music, but like before games, I'd say that I'd listen to a little bit of hip hop, like I would not R&B, but like
sure,
not that, but a little bit of rap, all that type of stuff, just to get myself like pumped up before a game.
How about favorite food, or I don't know if it's like back home, what you're eating when you go home from school, or what you're ordering somewhere. What type of food or favorite food?
My favorite food had to be my mom's mac and cheese. It's honestly, love whenever I come home. That's the favorite. That's the one thing I really want to eat.
All right, shout out to Mom. And how about lastly, when you're not playing football, not practicing, what do you enjoy doing, outside of playing football?
I enjoy hanging out with my friends most of the time, and if I had access to it, I like to play the drums as well.
Okay.
So I like mix around with friends, play some music, or just like hang out in my room, do work.
Thanks, IK. Appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the season. That's senior running back IK Irabor. We will be right back for the second half of Union College against Hobart.
Back here at Frank Bailey Field, thanks to senior IK Irabor for joining us earlier this week. Record that interview. IK has the lone Union touchdown in that first half as we take a look at some of the first half statistics.
Let's welcome back to the field.
IK Irabor, 17 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. Austin St. Pierre, they actually have listed Austin St. Pierre. I believe it was Finn Duran who had the fake punt and ran 35 yards. William Bellamy in that first half, not that effective, 4 of 12 for 88 yards. Andre Ross Jr. had all 4 catches for 88 yards. Andrew Lau did have a field goal, a 31-yard field goal. He missed in the first quarter, but he hit a 26-yard field goal in the second half. And over on the other side for Hobart, Tim Denham Jr., 7 carries for 27 yards. David Cruson, 5 carries for 20 yards. Rayshawn Boswell, only 3 carries for 1 yard, but he has the one rushing touchdown for the Statesman. Cruson, 9 of 11 for 115 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. His top target, Alex Labella, 2 catches for 22 yards. James Mealy also had a long pass reception, 1 catch for 46 yards in the first half. We also do want to tell you that just down the road, it is getting interesting at RPI as the Bombers have scored late in this game. It was 14-3 RPI. Ithaca scored and then went for 2 and converted it. And now they have the football back with 90 seconds to go in the game. They trail 14-11 down in Troy. And Ithaca actually has the football at the RPI 30-yard line. So the Bombers are driving down in Troy, trying to come from behind here. Minute 5 to go at East Campus Stadium in Troy. RPI leading Ithaca 14-11 as we get ready to start the second half. It will be Union receiving. Remember, they kicked off to start this game, so the Dutchmen will get the football here, leading 10-7 as we get ready to start the second half. Glad you could join us here on UnionAthletics.com for this broadcast. Kick was actually taken by Jonathan Anderson, who breaks a tackle and gets up the far sideline, out over the 30-yard line. And we actually have an update from that Hobart player who went down just before the end of the first half was number 20, Dante Kimbrough, the sophomore from Binghamton, New York. Was injured right at the end of that first half. Remember, came off, couldn't put any weight on that right side.
First and 10.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dutchmen. Ball at their own 31-yard line as we start the second half. And the rain looks like maybe it's let up a little bit here as Iribor running to the left. And he's got a first down, although there's a flag on the play. Well, he's close to a first down, but I think it is going to come back here as there's a flag down. IK's career day came against Hobart the last time these two teams played. He had 35 carries for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. Has the 1 touchdown in the first half, but didn't have a lot of running room. 17 carries, so a lot of attempts for only 57 yards and a touchdown. So Hobart has done a good job bottling up IK Iribor, although he does have the 1 touchdown for Union. Union missed a field goal in the first half. Hobart also missed a field goal. They had it blocked. As we keep an eye on the game down the street in Troy, as this is Iribor again, pounding that right side, still on his feet, and he gets taken down close to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10. 34 seconds to go in Troy. RPI leading 14-11. The fans starting to make their way back. There's not many seats, if any seats, available here in the bleachers, and we got a tremendous crowd across the way on the hill for homecoming weekend. It'll be 2nd and 9 after the run for Iribor. Faking the handoff. Bellamy's going to look here to the near side. Ross Jr. with an outstretched hand, but he couldn't pull it in, so it'll bring 3rd and 9.
Will bring up 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 9 for against the Dutchmen here from their own 33. Bellamy takes a snap. There's a free runner. The pass was completed to Avery Turton.
Pass completed to number 3, Avery Turton.
So that was almost a disaster as they had a runner coming at Bellamy, and then it was almost an interception.
The 38-yard line. And that will bring up 4th down.
Short pickup on that 3rd down, so it'll be 4th down, and Andrew Lau will come out to punt for Union. Hobart returner standing at the Statesman 25. Lau, kind of a liner punt, takes a couple of Union bounces, and then it's retrieved by the Hobart player. That was Marcus Lenz. And so Hobart will take over 1st and 10 at their own 23, let's call it. Again, in the other important game in the Liberty League, RPI leading Ithaca 14-11 with 34 seconds to go, but the Bombers are driving the field. They're inside the RPI 20-yard line. 34 seconds to go in Troy. First offensive possession for Cruson and the Hobart offense. Union's defense played well in that first half. They fake the handoff. Cruson's going to look all the way down the field. He's got a receiver. It's caught by Alex Labella.
To number 84.
Labella got away from the Union defense, was running down the side of the field, and then Davion Clemens had to come off of his receiver to make the tackle, but all the way down to the Union 36.
Clemens. And that play results in a 1st down for the Statesmen. 1st and 10
So
to
1st
go.
down Hobart as Cruson and Labella connect for the 3rd time today. Labella, the leading receiver for the Statesmen, senior from Long Island. Cruson takes the shotgun snap, hands it off for Tim Denham Jr., and Denham, who's had the better of the running to this point, rather than Rayshawn Boswell, picks up about 3 or 4. 12:15 to go.
Ball placed at the 32-yard line. 2nd and 6.
Meanwhile, in Troy, Ithaca setting up for a game-tying field goal here. It'll be about a 35-yarder for the Bombers. Kick is up, and it is no good. RPI is leading 14-11. The Ithaca missed a field goal here back in front of us. Hobart with a short run up the middle with Denham Jr. It looks like RPI is going to escape.
Ball placed at the 27-yard line. 2 down.
So with 30 seconds left to go in Troy, RPI leads Ithaca 14-11. Again, that game has major ramifications with the Liberty League outcome, as does this one right here in Schenectady, just down the road. These Route 7 rivals will meet at the end of the season. This is Denham Jr. on 3rd and short, and he's able to pick up enough yards for the 1st down inside the 25.
Results in a 1st down for the
1st down, Hobart. RPI has gone into victory formation down in Troy. They lead at 14-11 after the missed field goal by Ithaca.
23-yard line.
So it looks like RPI is going to be 7-1. Ithaca would be 7-1, and if this score holds, the Dutchman would be alone in 1st place in the Liberty League. Shotgun snap. Cruson will keep it. He's got some running room for a little bit, and then he's hit hard. Wouldn't go down, and now there's a flag that comes in. Union players are clapping. Cruson with a nice carry. And Hobart's already had 2 post-play penalties. We'll see who this one is against as this thing gets sorted out. It's going to be on Hobart. Another big penalty, and you know Hobart coach Kevin DeWall cannot be happy with that. 3 post-play personal fouls going against the Statesmen. 67, the right guard, Cade Frucci, the senior from Hanover, Massachusetts. It's all over in Troy. RPI has defeated Ithaca 14-11, and the Engineers and Bombers now both 7-1. As that game came right down to the wire, as this one we assume will as well. It's 10-7 Union with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Faking the handoff, well, no, giving it to Denham, and Denham's running left. Gets a couple of yards, but it's going to bring up third down and long from the Union 27. So again, Union playing all of these teams in the last week. They'll take on 7-1 now, Ithaca next week, and then take on 7-1 RPI in 2 weeks for the Dutchman Shoes. Right now taking on 6-1 Hobart and leading 10-7. But third down and 15 for the Statesmen. 2 receivers to the near side for Cruson. Low snap, he's going to hand it off. Denham trying to find a hole, still on his feet, but he's going to be swallowed up by Cavallo and Lama. As Colin Lama, Liberty League first team All-Star, makes the stop, and it looks like Hobart's going to bring out the field goal unit and Rob DiGregorio. This will be a bit of a longer kick. DiGregorio's longest kick so far this year is 40 yards. This will be 43 from the right hash. Holder is the quarterback, David Cruson. High snap, he gets it down. The kick is on the way, and it is good.
The field goal is good.
So the longest field goal of the season for Rob DiGregorio, as we'll wait to see officially how long that was, but I believe it was about a 43-yard field goal. DiGregorio's longest to date was 40 yards, so we've got ourselves a tie game at 10-10 with 8:30 to go. Union scored the first 10. Hobart has come back with the next 10, and we're all square here at Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. Union fans have an online store for all of your shopping needs. Visit unionathleticsgear.com. That's unionathleticsgear.com, all one word, for replica jerseys, Union gear, and gifts for the Dutchman fan in your life. Visit unionathleticsgear.com. The holidays are right around the corner here. That's the place to go for any of your Union fans. UnionAthleticsGear.com. Officially a 43-yard field goal for Rob DiGregorio, and we're tied at 10 here at Frank Bailey Field. Sky is kind of lightened up here a little bit. The kick from DiGregorio is caught by, it's Anderson back there again. Jonathan Anderson, a running back. We haven't seen him returning kicks so far this season, so I assume Union head coach Jeff Behrman just trying to get the ball in Anderson's hands because he's shown to be a talented running back so far this season in his freshman year. I think some of the crowd here just finding out that Ithaca did lose on the road, just down the road at RPI, 14-11. Yeah. IK trying to run left, and he's bottled up by this Hobart defense, as it was Emmett Ford coming out from the linebacker spot along with Kyle Spano, 96, the senior from Blue Point, New York, making the tackle. Some of the fans here, again, just finding out that RPI has knocked off Ithaca. Both teams are 7-1 now, the Bombers and the Engineers. Union trying to go to 8-0 and would be in first place all alone, but they're in a dogfight here midway through the third quarter. It's 10-10, Hobart and Union. Bellamy looking to the near side. It's got Ross Jr., but Ross Jr. is caught right there where he caught the ball by number 27, James Mahoney, a sophomore from Hull, Massachusetts.
James Mahoney. It will be 3rd and 9.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 9
34.
from the Union 34. Bellamy has her 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. Fakes the handoff. He's going to throw, has time. He's got a man open, and it's connected with Avery Turton on the far sideline. We've seen Avery Turton playing a lot of receiver today. The sophomore from White Plains, New York, makes the catch. Big catch there for the Dutchman.
1st and 10 from the 43.
As that was 3rd down and 9. Goes from the Union 34 all the way to the Hobart 43. So a big pickup there as Erebor now takes the handoff. Looks to be confusion on the Union side of the ball as Turton was looking to the sideline when they snapped it.
2nd down from the 40.
Officially 23-yard pass from Bellamy to Avery Turton. And then a short run for Erebor of 3 to the Hobart 40. We're all tied up, 10-10, 6 minutes to go here in the third. Erebor trying to get away, but Emmett Ford, the senior from South Boston, Massachusetts, who's got closing in on 150 career tackles. Actually, over 150 career tackles for the Statesman, and when head coach Kevin DeWall talked about both Emmett Ford and Brian Aguilar, 2 talented, seasoned veteran linebackers for Hobart. That's definitely their strength with Ford and Aguilar at the linebacker spot. 3rd down and 6. It's Erebor again, and Erebor gets to the 35, but he's going to be short of the 1st down, as Ford is in on the tackle again, along with looks like it was number 90 in there as well, Joel Kraft for the Statesman. 4th down and 2. Ball is at the Hobart 35. Union's got the offense out there. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They give it to Erebor running right, and it's going to be close to a 1st down. He was running behind Kevin Dewing and Stan Koss, and Stephen Cravani motioning to the 1st down. No indication yet. Oh, now we get the 1st down call. So the drive stays alive. Another big 4th down conversion for the Dutchman.
1st and 10 to go.
Union on 4th down, 4 of 4 on 4th downs so far in this game. They've all been short, except for one. I think one was maybe 4th and 9. Bellamy's going to go long here, and he's got a man, and it's off his hands. Looking for, I believe that was Will Sermon. Actually, I think it's Finn Duran. Finn Duran 9, not Sermon 7. Finn Duran running down the far sideline.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Union taking a shot down the field there. Both teams have had some big plays in this game. Big passing plays. Here's Anderson. Anderson took a big hit right into one of his linemen. It was Stan Koss, the right tackle. Anderson got walloped, and then he ricocheted off of Stan Koss ahead for maybe 1 yard. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Long drive here for the Dutchmen as we go under 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. We are tied at 10. It was 10-7 at halftime. Hobart kicked a field goal here in the 3rd quarter. Bellamy fakes the handoff. Pass is complete for Ross Jr. And he's got a 1st down all the way down to the Hobart 15-yard line.
Jay McCoy, that play results in a 1st down for the Dutchmen.
So 1st down and 10. First down and 10. Here's Anderson. Anderson tripped up in the backfield and maybe able to leap ahead for a yard or two by Emmett Ford. Ford has been everywhere, and now he's a little bit shaken up here after that tackle. Started to run off the field, and then I think he got the signal, hey, just go down on the field. We'll come out, and that'll stop play here. Gives his defense some time to breathe. Union College football would like to thank the following sponsors for their support this season. Brown Coach, CDPHP, Center Street Pub, Courtyard by Marriott Mohawk Harbor, Curtis Lumber, Doubletree by Hilton, Trusco Bank, Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub, Ortho New York, New Country Lexus of Latham, Sefq, Homewood Suites, and Bountiful Bread, all proud supporters of Union College and Union College athletics and Union College football this season. Second down and 11. Bellamy jumping in and out, now going to throw it for the end zone, and it was looking for Turton, almost intercepted.
Number 3, Avery Turton.
Tough to see the number there for Hobart. I think it was Leak, number 21, Jared Leak. The junior, probably the best player in the secondary. He's got over 100 tackles in his career. How about 5 interceptions for Leak, the junior? Bellamy, 3rd down and 11. Going to go to the air again. This one is almost intercepted again as it was in and out of the hands of Calero, C.J. Calero. So back-to-back incomplete passes where Hobart had a chance at the interception. Will bring up 4th down, and Andrew Lau out for a field goal attempt. He's 1 of 2 on the day, 6 of 8 on the season. This will be a 34-yarder from the right hash. Lau's kick is up, and it is good. Big field goal for Andrew Lau, his 2nd of the game, and it puts Union up 13-10 with 2:11 to go in this 3rd quarter. Big kick there from Andrew Lau, the sophomore. So Lau's field goal officially 34 yards from the right hash is good. And Union leading 13-10. The Dutchmen leading it. They were up 10-0. Hobart scored 10 straight. And now the Dutchmen lead it 13-10. So Union will kick off. Still pretty happy here in the stands at Frank Bailey Field that the RPI was able to pull that. Probably the only time that Union fans are happy that RPI won, as they knock Ithaca from the ranks of the unbeatens. Short kick handled by Denham Jr. And he is taken down on the far side of the field at about the 35-yard line. So that's where Hobart will start with 2:05 to go here in the third quarter. They spot it at the 33. It'll be first down and 10 for the Statesmen. Hobart has a field goal in this third quarter. They trailed 10-7 at halftime. Now it's 13-10 Union. Here's Cruson. Cruson on the scramble. He's going to let it loose, and it is overshooting his intended receiver as he was looking for Lenz, I believe that is. Two Union players were running with him. I believe that's Nathan Sullivan. And can't see the... I think that's Azari Lewis was running, Sullivan and Lewis running along with Marcus Lenz. Lenz has been a big part of this passing game so far this afternoon. Came in with just 6 catches. They're going to run the ball with Denham Jr., and Denham Jr. goes to the 36-yard line. Short carry. It'll bring up third down and long, and big play here for the Union defense and the Hobart offense. As we go under 2 minutes to play in this third quarter, Union leading at 13-10. Officially third down and 7 from the Hobart 36. 3 receivers for Cruson on this big third down. Low snap, Cruson pulls it up, has time, now he's being flushed to his right. He's gonna let it loose, he's got a receiver open, it's caught! And inside the 15-yard line is James Mealy. So Cruson kept the play alive, and he was able to find James Mealy. The senior from Duxbury, Massachusetts, got behind the Union defense. A big play all the way down to the Union 12.
Play results in a first down for the Statesmen.
Hobart first and 10 from the Union 12, final minute of this third quarter.
At the 12-yard line.
So now the Union defense has to make a stand here as the Dutchmen lead by only a field goal. Cruson with a big set, heavy set here, only one receiver to the far side. They're going to give it to Denham Jr., who makes a couple of moves, is able to make it a positive play, although Jamar Edwards was in there along with Dan Gioso. Pickup of 2 to the 10.
2nd and 8 from the 10.
As the clock runs down in this third quarter, that'll be it for the third quarter. Both teams kick a field goal in the third quarter. After 3, it's Union 13, Hobart 10. As we head to the fourth quarter. Union fans visit KDO Burns Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Open for lunch and dinner before or after Union games. It's the place to watch college football and hockey with friends and family. That's KDO Burns Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Proud supporter of Union College and Union College football. 13-10 Union leading it as we get set for the fourth quarter. So as we get set for this fourth quarter, Union leading at 13-10 here at Frank Bailey Field on homecoming weekend. Terrific crowd on hand in Schenectady, New York, and actually the sun's starting to peek its way through. We did get some rain on and off through the first half. Hopefully we'll be able to play this final quarter with good weather. Again, if you are just joining us, down the road, RPI has knocked off Ithaca 14-11. So Union trying to be the only team unbeaten at the end of the day in the Liberty League. Hobart hoping for a four-way tie. Here's Boswell running the option, and he's stacked up. Nowhere to go. How about Tommy Cavallo in on the tackle, the junior from Hopewell Junction, New York. Looks like no gain for Boswell. It'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 10. Hobart can get a first down. They can get a first down, but Union trying to keep him out of the end zone here. 3rd down and 8 from the 10. Opening minute of this fourth quarter, Union leading 13-10. Cruson with 3 receivers. He's going to take it, scramble to his left. He's going to lunge for the end zone, and he is in for the touchdown. David Cruson on 3rd and 8, a 10-yard run for the touchdown, and Hobart leads at 16-13 with 14 minutes to go in this game. Rob DiGregorio out for the extra point. This is a humongous extra point as Hobart is up by a field goal. DiGregorio trying to make it a 4-point game, and it was almost blocked by Union, but the extra point is good. And with 14:03 remaining here at Frank Bailey Field, the score is Hobart 17, Union 13. Union fans, Brown Coach is the official charter company and a proud supporter of Union College athletics. Call Brown Coach or Brown Charter, Brown Travel rather, for all of your charter and travel needs. That's Brown Coach, a proud supporter of Union College football. So it's 17-13 Hobart with 14 minutes to go in this game. And again, if Hobart wins this game, you'll have 4 teams at 7-1, and you'll have some chaos in the Liberty League. The 2 6-1 teams, RPI and Hobart, trying to knock off the unbeaten Union and Ithaca. RPI has already done so. So currently you have 3 teams with 1 loss. The only team without a loss right now in the Liberty League is Union College, but they are staring at a 4-point deficit with 14 minutes to go. Union, by the way, has also won 20 straight regular season games and 13 straight games at home, regular season games, or like 13 in general, at home, and 12 straight Liberty League games. We knew this would be a close game as Jonathan Anderson catches it at about the 17-yard line, started in, then tried to bounce it outside, and he got tackled by Chris Natumba. Natumba makes the tackle, and so it'll be Union 1st and 10, ball at their own 27-yard line. So the Dutchman offense back out onto the field, and guess what? The sun is starting to shine down here at Frank Bailey Field. So Union hoping for some sunshine at the end of this game as the Dutchman ranked 12th in one poll, 11th in the other poll, as Irabor goes kind of head over heels, picks up about 4 yards on first down out to the 32.
At the 32-yard line.
So Union needs some plays here on offense. They need a drive. They're only down by 4. Again, the Dutchmen end the season at Ithaca and then home here for the Dutchman Shoes game, and now we get a flag down, and that's not what Union wanted. As we get a pre-play penalty and a flag coming down, which usually indicates it's a false start. And they said 75, which is Matt McCorkle.
The ball will be placed at the 27-yard line. 2nd and 10.
As Union's got 6 offensive linemen out there right now. McCorkle, one of the 6. Here's Irabor. Irabor running right. Made a couple of moves, and now the entire Hobart defense combines to make the tackle. Irabor gets back close to the 35, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3. As Union's got to get to the 38-yard line. Got to keep this drive moving. 12:45 to go in this game. Hobart leading it 17-13. The Statesmen receiving votes in the national polls. These two schools meeting for the 104th time. Dates all the way back to 1896, this rivalry. Union leads the all-time series 52-49 and 2 ties. Pass complete on the far side to Ross Jr. He gets the first down and a lot more. Andre Ross Jr. to the end zone for the touchdown. Well, Union was looking for a touchdown. They were looking on that play for a first down. Instead, Ross Jr. breaks a couple of tackles, gets down the sideline, and goes 66 yards for the touchdown. Andre Ross Jr., his 8th receiving touchdown of the season. Extra point is up, and it is good, and that's a big extra point from Andrew Lau. And with 12:11 to go in this game, it's Union 20, Hobart 17. So an exciting 4th quarter here, getting more exciting as a 66-yard pass from William Bellamy to Andre Ross Jr. puts Union back in front 20-7. We talked about the sun coming through. Well, that was a sunshine type of play for Bellamy to Ross Jr. Again, it was 3rd and 3. They were just looking for the first down. Ross Jr. shows his explosiveness as the 6'3 senior receiver from Washington, D.C. goes all the way for the touchdown. 8th receiving touchdown of the season for Ross Jr., his 33rd career receiving touchdown, which is good for 2nd all-time in Union College history. Union isn't concerned really, though, about the history at this point. They're concerned about the final 12 minutes. Here's Boswell. Boswell takes the kick return, and he's going to go out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Cruson in the offense. Well, Bellamy certainly has not had his best game as a Union College Dutchman. 9 of 21 for 203 yards and 1 touchdown, but it was more like about 150 yards before that 66-yard touchdown to Ross Jr., who is putting on a show here. 7 catches for 175 yards, including that 66-yard touchdown. So Ross Jr. just continues to pile up numbers. Not much running room there for Boswell. Boswell's been pretty well held in check for the Statesmen. It's been Denham Jr. who has 50 rushing yards. Boswell, the leading rusher for Hobart, came in averaging 98 yards a game, but he's had trouble getting on track here this afternoon. Picked up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. 11:30 to go in this game. 2nd down and 8 for Hobart. Cruson takes the snap. Gives it to Boswell, and Boswell loses a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9. As it looked like 93. Flanagan in there, and now Union fans get to their feet here as this is a big 3rd down. The crowd is going wild here at Frank Bailey Field, trying to inspire this Union College defense. Not sure how much you can hear of it coming through, but This place is rocking here at Frank Bailey Field. The crowd is, the stands are actually shaking here as we got a 3rd down and 9 for Hobart. And we got a flag as it looked like Hobart jumped off sides. The left tackle, Ben Frank, moved a little early, and that will back up Hobart as this crowd continues to rock and roll here at Frank Bailey Field. The Union players encouraging the fans to keep up the noise. Penalty moves the ball back to the 24. It's 3rd down and 15. Actually, 3rd down and 14 as Hobart has to get out to the 38 to keep this drive alive. 3rd and long here for the Statesmen. Big play, goes without saying, I think. This play's still rocking. Low snap, Cruson takes it off the turf. Pass is in and out of the hands, and an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 4th down. Hobart coach Kevin DeWall going bananas on the sidelines. He wants a penalty flag, but that looked to be a pretty good hit, I would say. It actually didn't even look like that bad of a hit. I'm surprised the Hobart receiver stayed down. To be honest, he threw his helmet. And now through a glove is Labella is the one who got hit. I thought he made the catch. It would have been enough for the 1st down, but kind of brought it in, and then it went in and out of the hands of Labella, who's still down on the field tossing his other glove as he's shaking up, the senior from Long Island. It'll bring up 4th down and long. No flags out there on the field. Head coach Kevin DeWall letting the referees hear it. Now checking in on his receiver. From up here, it didn't look like that bad of a hit. Now, I'm not saying Labella's not hurt, but as far as a penalized play, I didn't see what Hobart coach Kevin DeWall saw. If anything, Labella tried to catch it, and he was kind of down with his knees bent, and if anything, his head got lowered. And a couple of Union players tried to make a play. It almost looked like it was going to be an interception as it popped out of Labella's hands. And now Labella up to his feet, retrieves the gloves that he had discarded, and now will head off under his own power. He looks to be all right. Again, it didn't look like that bad of a hit from up here. I think maybe Labella more so just unhappy that he wasn't able to bring in the catch because it would have been a 1st down. Looked like he had the catch, to be honest with you. Instead, it'll be Tobias Weffering out to punt. Union's returner standing at their own 40. Weffering, not a bad punt from Weffering, and it's fair catch made by Shazir Sullivan at the 39-yard line. So a big stand there for the Union College defense, and the Union offense will get the football back. Union fans, be sure to stop by the Center Street Pub located at 308 Union Street in Schenectady, featuring TVs to watch all of your favorite teams, great food, and live entertainment. Center Street is a proud partner of Union College athletics and Union College football. First and 10, Union with exactly 10 minutes to go in this game. And William Bellamy and the offense back out there on the field. And now we get a whistle before the snap. And it'll be a false start on all Liberty League left guard Chris Kachadurian. So it'll move the ball back to the 34. Not what Union wanted to do before this drive even gets started, a 5-yard penalty. Dutchman leading 20-17. This has been a good one from Frank Bailey Field. Here's Irabor. Irabor bouncing it outside. And he gets close to the 40. Actually going to spot it at the 41. That looked like a good spot there, as I didn't even think Irabor got to the 40. It is a pickup of 7, and it'll bring up 2nd and 8.
It'll be second down from the 41.
So Union wants to see this clock run, but they want to go down and score some points. 9:35 remaining. Now Iribor trying to pick his way to the left side.
Iribor on the rush. Tackled on the play. Number 57, CJ.
9:05 to go in this game. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
From the 43.
Ball is at the Union 43. Again, the sun has come out here at Frank Bailey Field. Union fans just waiting for something to cheer for here on this drive. 3rd and 6. We'll see what the Dutchmen call up. They send Iribor in motion out of the backfield. Now they're going to try to throw it for IK, and it's over his head, incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down. And that'll bring the punt team out.
IK Iribor. That play will bring up 4th down.
8:30 to go in this game, so Union ticks about a minute, just about a minute and a half off the clock. But still plenty of time as Lau will kick this one away. Luckily for Hobart, their returner, I believe that's Lenz, not staring into the sun. The sun's at his back. Remember, Union faked a punt earlier in this one, and this is a bad time for one to go off the side of Lau's foot, although it takes a nice Union hop and goes out of bounds around the 25. So Hobart will get the football at the 25-yard line with 8:23 remaining. Union fans, visit Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Open for lunch and dinner before or after Union games. It's the place to watch college football, pro football, and hockey with friends and family. That's the Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub located in downtown Schenectady, a proud supporter of Union College and Union College football. Well, 8:23 to go. 1st and 10 for the Statesmen. Ball at their own 25-yard line. Cruson takes the snap. Scrambles forward, now is going to put it way up in the air, and it drops incomplete. Looking way down the field for James Mealy. I'll tell you, Cruson has been firing the ball down the field in this game.
2nd and 10 from the 25.
So 2nd down and 10. Both teams have scored a touchdown in this 4th quarter. Union led 10-0. It was 10-7 at halftime. Both teams kicked a field goal in the 3rd quarter. That one's incomplete. It's been pretty even throughout. Union led 10-0. Hobart came back, tied it. Union went ahead 13-10. Then Hobart took the lead with a 4th quarter touchdown. They led 17-13, and then Union got a 66-yard touchdown from Bellamy to Ross Jr., and that's where we stand, 20-17. 3rd down and 10 after a couple of incompletions for Cruson and the Statesmen. Union fans trying to get behind their team once again on 3rd down and long for the Statesmen. Low snap. Cruson may have had his knee down, and they blow the play dead. He did. He had his knee down, and he'll be down right there inside the 20. So a low snap. Cruson went down to get it. His knee touched the turf, which means he is down. And so that is a loss of 6, and it'll bring up 4th down and 16. And Tobias Weffering back out to kick. Union's returners have to be careful here. They're staring right at the sun. High snap for Weffering, who gets it down. Fair catch called for and made by both Ray Bax and Shazir Sullivan, but Sullivan makes the catch at the 40-yard line. And boy, oh boy, Union staring right into that sun, which has come out here at Frank Bailey Field. The returners have their hands full. for the rest of this game, or for the rest of this quarter. They actually spotted at the 41-yard line. So first down and 10 for the Dutchmen. We had rain showers in the first half. The rain came and has gone, and the sun now is out in the fourth quarter, halfway through. 7:34 to go in this game. Union leading by a field goal, 20-17 in this back and forth game that Union led 10-0. Hobart led 17-13 as Jonathan Anderson somersaults his way ahead to the 45. Pickup of 4 on first down, but that clock runs, 7:19 to go. Union hoping to drive down the field and put this game out of reach, but they certainly would love to run some clock as well, as the clock running with 7:05 remaining. Play clock has 15 seconds on it. Union in no hurry. Now under 7 minutes to go in this game. Second down and 6. It's Anderson again. A lot of faith in this freshman running back, Jonathan Anderson, who came into the game with 379 yards rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns. He gets no gain there, so it'll be third down and 6. Clock continues to rumble, 6:35 to go in this game. Union leading 20-17. Another big third down here. Hobart trying to get off the field, and Union trying to keep this drive alive. 6:20 to go, 15 seconds on the play clock. So Union can take it down to about the 6-minute mark before they snap it here on third down. 3 seconds on the play clock. They snap it. Here's Bellamy. Bellamy looking for Finn Duran, and a lot of contact there, and there's no flag. Union head coach Jeff Behrman irate on the sidelines. There was a lot of contact there between Jared Leak and Finn Duran. And it's an incomplete pass, no flag, and Union will have to punt. There was a lot of contact there, but the referee keeps his flag in the pocket. Bring up fourth down and 6. Lau, another high punt. Got to hope for a Union bounce. It takes a couple of hops again. So Lau has been bailed out by those rolls as he runs off the field. Getting some encouragement from Pete Brown, the linebackers coach. Lau gets a fist bump from Union head coach Jeff Behrman. It does look like maybe Lau is not 100% as he kind of came off the field with a little bit of a hitch in his step. He'll take the roll, though, all the way down to the Hobart 24, and so the Statesmen have it. First and 10, 5:54 to go in this game. First and 10 for Hobart. Here's Boswell. Boswell gets away from the first tackle. Well, sort of. Lama was hanging on to him. It's a 3-yard pickup for Boswell, who Union's got to keep its eyes on number 1 for Hobart. He's been bottled up pretty much most of the afternoon, but he's got one of the 2 touchdowns for the Statesmen. And he's got the ability to break loose at any time here. So Union's got to keep a handle on number 1, Rayshawn Boswell. 2nd and 7 for the Statesmen, 5:10 to go in this game. Boswell took the Wildcat. They're going to double throw it, and it is incomplete. As there's now a flag down. Boswell, I think they're going to say that was 2 forward passes because Boswell tried to throw it across to Lenz, and then Lenz tried to throw it down the field. But I think they're saying that first pass from Boswell to Lenz was a forward pass. Union wasn't fooled, though, and Lenz didn't really have much of an arm on it. Hobart trying to pull some trickery out of the bag here in the final 5 minutes. And now Union head coach Jeff Behrman has a decision. Does he accept this penalty or let it be an incomplete pass? So that's what he's trying to decide right now with 5:05 remaining. And they are going to take the penalty, it looks like. Oh, never mind. Loss of down on that play, so they don't have to figure out if they're going to accept it or not. As the penalty will move them all the way back to the 18-yard line. It'll be third down and third and long. Bartosik goes in motion. Here's Cruson. Cruson's trying to get away now, scrambling, trying to keep this play alive. He just heaves it up, and it's intercepted by Austin St. Pierre. And St. Pierre brings it all the way back inside the Hobart 40. And Union is set up in beautiful position here with 4:52 remaining. Had a feeling that Cruson was going to maybe make one of those mistakes because he's been scrambling for his life, and he's done a heck of a job on the move this afternoon passing the ball, but that time just couldn't get enough on it. Throws his 6th interception of the season. And for Austin St. Pierre, he's got number 2. The senior from Westfield, Massachusetts, brings it all the way back to the Hobart 36-yard line. And now Union set up in golden opportunity to try to put this game away. 1st and 10 at the 36 of Hobart with 4:52 remaining. They fake for IK, Iribor. Bellamy's going to go up top for Ross Jr., and it's too far for Andre Ross Jr. Those two connected for the go-ahead touchdown earlier in this quarter. About 8 minutes ago. 8 minutes in game action, I should say. About 12 minutes to go in the game. Those two connected for a 66-yard touchdown. Trying to go back to it there. Union trying to, right after the turnover, trying to take a shot to the end zone to end it. Bellamy, a little bit of a high snap, gives for Iribor. Iribor running right. And he has done a heck of a job this afternoon. IK Iribor, he's just battering ram up the middle against this strong Hobart defense, which only allows 12.5 points a game.
3rd and 6.
Iribor right around the 100-yard mark, but he's had 28 carries. Last time these two teams met was a career day for IK, 35 carries for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. The most recent season, 2019, right here at Frank Bailey Field. 4 minutes even to go. Here's Iribor. Iribor gets a yard before he's twisted down by Anthony Romano. So now it's 3rd down and 5, actually 4th down and 5 rather. And we'll see now. I would assume Union will keep its offense out on the field because the ball is at the 32. Huge play here. 4th down and 6. 3:20 to go. 7 seconds on the play clock. 5 seconds on the play clock. They snap it with 3. Bellamy sitting back there now, scrambling for his right. He's going to take off and try to dive for the 1st down, but he doesn't have it. He gets to the 28, which is going to be 2 yards shy of the 1st down. So I think Bellamy thought maybe he had a less to go because it was 6 yards he had to gain. He picks up 4, and that turns the ball back over to Hobart with 3:06 remaining. So we thought maybe the interception could lead to some more points and Union putting this game out of reach, but Hobart trails only by a field goal with 3:06 remaining. 1st and 10, Hobart, ball at the 28. Only 3 minutes and 6 seconds to go in this game. Cruson and Hobart have one last shot. Cruson takes the snap. Thought about throwing way downfield. Now he's going to take off and run. And he's caught from behind. Close to a first down. Caught by Dan Gioso. Clock running, though. As he didn't get the first down, got real close. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1, but the clock runs, 2:44 remaining. 2:40 to go. Hobart doesn't seem to be in any hurry. They're thinking this is potentially their last drive of the game here. 2:30 to go. 2nd down and 1 from the 37. Cruson, pass complete. Getting away from a couple of tacklers and getting the first down is Labella. So the clock stops while they move the chains with 2:13 to go. Labella makes the catch gets out to the 43. Heck of an effort from Alex Labella. 6-yard reception, but it's now 2 minutes to go in this game. Hobart is at its own 43. Hobart trailing by only a field goal, so they could attempt a field goal. DiGregorio is 1 of 2 today, had one blocked in the first quarter. Faking the handoff is Cruson. He's going to let it loose. And diving for it, and it's incomplete as they were looking for, is that 6? No, 3, James Mealy, who's been that deep threat for them this afternoon. Boy, oh boy, Cruson loaded up and let it loose in single coverage back there. I believe was Clements. Union secondary has to be very sure of itself here. Can't get beat deep. 2nd down and 10 from the 43. Union's fans trying to get behind the defense here one last time on this potentially final drive of the game. 1:36 to go. Cruson takes the snap, throw to the near side, and they're going to say it is a completed pass and enough for the first down.
Pass completed, number 85.
It was 85 who made the catch.
It'll be 1st and 10.
Rain Daramola makes the catch. Goes out of bounds at the Union 43. So a pickup of 14 on 2nd and 10. First down for the Statesmen. 1:30 to go in this game. Hobart looking for the road upset here. Cruson's pass incomplete.
Incomplete pass on the play. Pass intended.
Looking for 7 Bartosik. Clements was in coverage. 1:26 to go in this game. 2nd down and 10. Well, this game has been everything it was advertised to be. Here's Cruson. He's going to hand off for Boswell. Boswell gets down to the Union 35. Clock runs with 1:17, and now Hobart will take a timeout, I believe. Hobart takes a timeout with 1:17 to go. Again, if you joined us late, RPI defeated Ithaca just about 10 miles east of here in Troy. So the Bombers and the Engineers are both 7-1. Union is 7-0. Hobart is 6-1, and the Statesmen are trying to cause chaos and create a 4-way tie for first place in the Liberty League. Union trying to remain the lone unbeaten team and also continue what has been a school record 20 regular season victories in a row. It's 3rd down, by the way, too. So it's 3rd down, 1:17 to go in this game. 3rd down and 2 at the Union 35. So Hobart's got to get a first down here before they can think about trying to tie the game or go for the win. 3rd down and 2. Crusen's got 4 receivers. He's going to scramble for it, and he's going to pick it up. He gets to the 32-yard line. That stops the clock while they reset the chains. And now they'll wind it, 1:10 to go. Hobart has a fresh set of downs. We'll see what Hobart does here. Again, Rob DiGregorio is 1 for 2 on field goals this afternoon. Looking at the near side here, and it is incomplete. They were looking for Rain Daramolo again. It'll bring up 2nd down. Rain Daramola. 56 seconds left to go in this game. Well, this has been a good game. Second down and 10. It's Boswell up the middle. He's got room. He's got another first down, and he's down to the 20-yard line. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains. Now they wind it. 45 seconds to go. Hobart's got another fresh set of downs. 1st and 10. They hand it off again. Running to the left was Boswell, and a timeout Hobart with 33 seconds remaining. Well, the Union defense probably could use a breather here. As 33 seconds remaining, Union leading 20-17, but Hobart has the ball at the Union 18. And all the fans eagerly awaiting what the last 33 seconds hold here. If you joined us late, Union had a 10-0 lead. Hobart came back to tie it. Union went back ahead 13-10. Hobart then took the lead 17-13. And then Union scored with 12 minutes to go in this 4th quarter to take a 20-17 lead. And that's where we stand. Hobart does seem to already be in field goal range for DiGregorio, who hit a 43-yard field goal earlier in this game. He also had one blocked. From here, it would be about a 35-yarder. But Hobart's going to probably try to take a crack at the end zone here with 33 seconds to go. Crusen in the shotgun. 2nd down and 8. Takes the snap. Looking into the end zone, and he overshoots his man. That was Bartosik. The Union had 3 defenders back there in that part of the end zone. And to bring up 3rd down now. 3rd down with 27 seconds to go. Four receivers for Crusen. Third and 8. Takes the snap. Looking to the far side, and it is incomplete. They threw a flag on that far side. There are 2 referees there. They threw a flag on 3rd and 8. Ay, ay, ay. And that gives Hobart a fresh set of downs with 22 seconds to go. Ay, ay, ay. They call pass interference on 3rd down. That didn't look... That looked like pretty good coverage with 20 seconds left. You'd like to just see them kind of play it out here on the field. It gives Hobart a fresh set of downs at the Union 7, 1st and goal. They fake the handoff for Boswell, look into the end zone, and it's out of the reach of Labella, off his hands. Incomplete pass. Labella had a step there. He had some room on Azari Lewis, but Labella went off of his hands, incomplete. 2nd down, 17 seconds to go in this game. Union leading 20-17. And Hobart's going to spend its final timeout. Boy, oh boy, I don't know about that call. Hobart takes its 3rd and final timeout with 17 seconds left to go. They're going to have a couple more shots at this end zone, but they've got to keep an eye on the clock now, because if the play is stopped inbounds, the clock is going to run here. 17 seconds to go. Again, glad you could join us here. This game was going to be a big one, and it has been as advertised. Union leading at 20-17. Both teams have had a lead here in the 4th quarter. Union fans trying to get behind the defense here. 2nd and goal after the pass interference. Cruson takes the snap. Looking, and it is batted down, I think, 53. Cavallo got a piece of it and knocked the pass down. It's 3rd down with 13 seconds to go. Third down and 7, or 3rd down and goal at the 7. 13 seconds to go in this game. Cruson only has the one receiver here to the near side. Takes the snap. Now he's going to try and scramble, and the pass is incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down with 8 seconds left, and Hobart is going to have to set up for a game-tying field goal attempt. So they had a couple of cracks at it, and now it comes down to the leg of Rob DiGregorio. 5 of 7 on the season, 1 of 2 today. The one that missed was blocked. This will be a 24-yarder from the right hash. 8 seconds to go. Low snap, up, and it is good. Union almost got to it. A great job by the holder, David Cruson, the quarterback. And with 6 seconds to go, we are tied. It is 20-20 here at Frank Bailey Field. So DiGregorio hits his 2nd field goal of the afternoon and ties this game up with 6 seconds left. 20-20. Hobart getting 10 points here in this fourth quarter. The last three, a 24-yard field goal off the right foot of Rob DiGregorio. Both kickers have 2 field goals in this game. Cruson, a rushing touchdown. Boswell, a rushing touchdown out of the Wildcat. Irabor has a rushing touchdown for the Dutchman, and Bellamy and Ross Jr. connected for a 66-yard touchdown. So 6 seconds to go here as DiGregorio, after kicking the game-tying field goal, now will boot it away. We'll see if we are heading for overtime here at Frank Bailey Field. Squib kick, and dropping right down on top of it was number 20 for Union, John Rust.
John Rust on the recovery. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dutchmen.
So Union has a chance here. There's 5 seconds to go, and they have the ball at the 44-yard line. Or 43-yard line is where they'll spot it. Guess you might as well take a crack here down the field. The last touchdown was a 66-yard touchdown from Bellamy to Ross Jr. This would be 67 yards. So it's 1st and 10, but this will likely be the last play of regulation as Bellamy takes the snap, pulls it down. He's waiting for his receivers to get all the way down the field. He's going to heave it up there. He's got a receiver, and it's intercepted in the end zone.
Pass intercepted by number 18.
That's 18, Cal Sullivan. And so we have overtime here from Frank Bailey Field. 20-20 at the end of regulation. Well, Hobart was looking to tie things up at the top of the Liberty League standings. Right now they're tied up with the lone unbeaten Union. 20-20. Again, this has been a terrific game here from Frank Bailey Field. And we'll get some more action here as we go to as we are heading for overtime. Well, again, we knew this would be a good game. Union and Hobart 20-20 as we head to overtime. Union led 10-0. Hobart came back to tie it. Union led 13-10. Hobart took the lead 17-13. Union took the lead 20-17, and now we're all tied at 20-20 after a 24-yard field goal from Rob DiGregorio tied us up with, I think it was 6 seconds to go in this game. So the captains will return to the center of the field here, just about where they were about almost 3 hours ago when they met for the opening coin toss. I don't think one fan has left. In fact, there may be even more fans here, to be honest, than there were at the start of this game.
Women's soccer leads RIT 1-0. Again, with 10 minutes remaining in the second half, Union leads RIT in women's soccer action 1-0.
Captains back to the middle of the field. Lama, Irobor, Gioso, and Bellamy out there for Union. Trying to see who it is for Hobart. It looks like Leak. I think Aguilar was out there. So Union won the coin toss there. Looks like Union will go on defense first. I think they're still trying to figure out what the decision is here. You can almost hear a pin drop at Frank Bailey Field. They even upped the referee's mic there. It was almost like it was almost quiz time for the Union captains out there after they won the coin toss. The referee said you have two options. You can take the ball or you can choose which side of the field. And everyone wanting to make the right decision here as we go into overtime. So Union, I believe, they elected to go on defense first, which is what you want to do because the other team goes out there and you'll get to see, do they kick a field goal? Do they score a touchdown? Do they not score any points? And then Union will have a chance to either match it or go ahead.
The ball will be placed.
Well, now I think there's still, I think, some more confusion here. Now I think they said Hobart won the toss. I am very confused here. Whatever is going to happen, it looked like Union's defense was going to go out there, and now it looks like Union's offense is going to go out there. So whatever happened, they really should just have the coaches go out there. You know what I mean? It's you got the captains out there, probably have never played in an overtime game. The referees are trying to figure out, well, okay, what do we got to do here? So it'll be the Union offense out to the field here to start overtime. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Hobart making a last-second substitution here. Trying to get the right personnel out there on the field. So Union will have the football first here. It's 1st and 10. These are untimed downs. Running left is Irabor. Didn't look like he had much room, and he gets taken down by a few Hobart defenders, only a couple yards there. Gotten very quiet here at Frank Bailey Field as the fans are very interested in how this thing plays out. It'll be 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard run by Irabor. High snap for Bellamy. They give it to Irabor. Irabor running right. Has a little bit more room. Gets inside the 20. It'll bring up 3rd down, though, and about 2 as it looks like he got down to the 17.
3rd down coming up.
This is a big play here because having the ball first in overtime, you want to stay away from a 4th down situation for sure here because you either have to make the decision to try and kick it or go for it, and you don't know what Hobart is going to ultimately do on the other end. Irabor running left again. He is right at the line. They give him the 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Dutchman. Again, untimed downs. We're in overtime here at Frank Bailey Field. Even the Union fans are kind of like, what's going on here? They get the 1st down. And finally, the fans give a little bit of a round of applause here as they're anxiously awaiting this. We talked about Union's won 20 straight regular season games, the last 3 in 2018, all 10 in 2019, and the first 7 here in 2021. But this game coming right down to the wire as Irabor running up the middle again. It's been Irabor, Irabor, Irabor for the Dutchman here in overtime. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. It's 2nd and 4. Irabor again, and this time Hobart getting in there with Isaiah Boone, the senior from Patterson, New Jersey, makes the tackle.
Second down. Make that third down.
So to bring up third down now, and third down about 5, as I think they spotted that ball back at the 10-yard line. They've run IK 5 times in a row, and now he's coming to the sideline here, replaced by Jonathan Anderson. So Irabor up the middle here, trying to find room in overtime, and now it's 3rd and 5. Irabor comes off the field. Jonathan Anderson comes on. We'll see what they call on third down. Bellamy looking for Ross Jr., and we get a flag, couple of flags. As they were looking for Ross Jr., the pass was incomplete, but Jared Leak in coverage, and Leak's going to be flagged for pass interference.
With the penalty.
Penalty occurring in the end zone. They'll
2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
move the ball to the 2-yard line because the penalty took place at the 2. Bellamy goes in motion. Now it's Irabor, takes the snap, and he goes into the end zone for a touchdown. IK Irabor. A 2-yard touchdown, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And Union goes up 26-20 here to start overtime.
That touchdown was scored by number 1, IK Irabor.
The kick is up, and it is good. A huge extra point there for Andrew Lau.
Union 27, Hobart 20. As overtime continues. Ball placed at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Statesmen.
First and 10 for the Statesmen here. They've got to score a touchdown here. Cruson, a keeper, faked the pitch to Boswell and goes up the middle for a big gain on first down, close to 8 yards, down to the 17-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down. Union leading at 27-20 here in overtime. Union scored a touchdown. Hobart needs a touchdown to keep this game alive. Cruson, a QB keeper to start the overtime session for the Statesmen. Same play, and Cruson it is, keeps it and goes from the inside the 15, and it's a first down for the Statesmen.
1st and 10 to go. The ball will be placed at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10.
So 1st and 10 for Hobart. Ball is at the 13 or 14-yard line. So Hobart could get another first down. Union trying to hold him out of the end zone. Cruson hands it off for Boswell. Boswell running right, and he gets down close to the 10-yard line. It'd be a pickup of 4 and brings up 2nd down. Again, these are untimed downs in overtime. There is the play clock, obviously, but Hobart needs a touchdown. So this is 4-down territory for the Statesmen. 2nd down and 6 from the 10. Union trying to remain undefeated. Hobart trying to send the Liberty League into a 4-way tie at 7-1. 2nd down and 6. Low snap, Cruzen fakes the pitch again, and he rumbles ahead where he's upended by Lama. Maybe got 2 yards. Again, Hobart can run a play like that on 2nd down because they're in 4-down territory here. They've got to get a 1st down or a touchdown to keep this game alive. 3rd down now. Ball is at the 8. 3rd down and 4. Boswell is in the Wildcat here. Boswell is not under center, but he takes the shotgun snap. Now cuts it up the field, and he's going to be short of the 1st down. It's going to be 4th down. So Boswell took the Wildcat snap, and now we are going to take a timeout, Hobart, as it'll be 4th down and 3. Boswell only got 1 yard on that carry. They're at the 7-yard line. Hobart can get a 1st down. Union can end the game with a stop here. Dutchman leading 27-20, but this game has been wild basically from the start. Rayshawn Boswell took the opening kickoff all the way down the field. Looked like Hobart was going to score right away. They ended up having to settle for a field goal chance that was blocked. And from there, it's just been, while it's been a low-scoring game, it's been very exciting here this afternoon. Fans are going to get loud here on this 4th down as Union trying to hold Hobart out of the end zone. More importantly, hold them on 4th down. Fourth down and 2 officially. Ball spotted at the 6. Cruzen fakes it. And it's going to depend on the spot here. No signal yet. No, certainly no 1st down signal. It looks like Union held him here. I think they're going to have to measure this. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's going to come down to the length of the chains here on 4th down. This game literally coming down to inches here. It is short. Union wins the game. The Dutchmen escape in overtime. 27-20 by the length of the football. Union is 8-0, and Hobart is 6-2. Boy, oh boy, you never see the Union sideline explode like that, but with good reason as the defense comes up with the stand on 4th and goal in overtime. The final score, Union 27, Hobart 20. What a game here from Frank Bailey Field. It literally came down to inches as Union improves to 8-0. They stay in 1st place.
Until next time, we remind you, please.
And man, what a game. What a game. The Dutchmen celebrate. For Hobart, it's heartbreak as they come up 1 yard short of trying to extend this game in overtime. Boy, oh boy, Union and Hobart, you wouldn't have it any other way as it comes literally down to inches. They pull out the chains, it's short, and Union wins the game 27-20. The Dutchmen are now 8-0, and they will travel to Ithaca next week with a chance to win the Liberty League, because now you've got Ithaca has 1 loss, Hobart has 2 losses, RPI has 1 loss, so a win next week for Union, and the Dutchmen would be in great position to come home and finish up the regular season against RPI Might come down to that last game against RPI. RPI now 7-1 after beating Ithaca.
A final in today's Senior Day women's soccer contest. Union defeats RIT 1-0. They will host a first-round Liberty League playoff game. So congratulations.
So we'll take a look at some final statistics here, I think, before we try to get out of here. Again, the final score in overtime, Union 27, Hobart 20. The final score, to just quickly take a look at some final stats here if we can. Over on the Hobart side, a heck of a game for David Cruson. Cruson, 13 of 27 for 228 yards. His top receivers were Mealy, 2 catches for 98 yards, and Labella, 4 catches for 69 yards. Tim Denham Jr., 14 carries for 50 yards, and Rayshawn Boswell had just 5 rushing yards, according to this. Cruson had a rushing touchdown. On the Union side of the field, William Bellamy, 9 of 25 here for 203 yards and a touchdown. Andre Ross Jr., 7 catches for 175 yards and a touchdown. I.K. Iribor, 36 carries for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the touchdown in overtime here to send Union out victorious in overtime on homecoming weekend. Just a terrific finish to this game, and Union down there, they'll be celebrating and heading to Ithaca next week at 8-0 and in first place alone in the Liberty League standings. So before we get out of here, some thank yous to give out. Thank you to Union Athletic Director Jim McLaughlin, Steve Sheridan, Athletic Communications and his staff. Thank you to Union Head Coach Jeff Behrman, who joined us in the pregame. Thank you to I.K. Iribor, who was our halftime interview. Little did we know that he would end up going for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Good game for senior running back I.K. Iribor. And thanks for tuning us in here on UnionAthletics.com. What a game, as it took overtime, but the final, Union 27, Hobart 20. Union remains undefeated at 8-0. The Dutchmen are in first place in the Liberty League alone with 2 games remaining at Ithaca and then back home for the Dutchmen Shoes. That'll do it for our broadcast today. Thanks for joining us. Final score again, Union 27, Hobart 20 in overtime. That'll do it. Andrew Santillo signing off here from Frank Bailey Field, a victorious Frank Bailey Field for the Union College Dutchmen. 27-20 the final in overtime. Union wins it. Thank you for listening.